Hey everybody, chat with nobody else's auto. It is 7 o'clock Sunday evening, time for more Sunday night shenanigans. Yes, it's time for Sunday night live chat for the 129th time. As crazy as that sounds. Great group with us on YouTube right out of the gate. Number one's here, Randy, Frank, Norma, Tweedly D, Bill Wagaman's on with us. As always, Bill's got my back, says hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks, Bill. I appreciate that. Let's see if we're getting connected over here on Facebook, since it's usually our problem child, but we've still got some guys that like to use it, so we keep her going. Jim's here. Big Guy 45 made her back again. Got a lot of exciting things to do today. Lots of fun tonight, as always. At least I hope. I hope you guys are going to have fun, because I worked hard to get one ready. Lee from New York, Jeff from Canada, Bill Diss, Gary Dahmer. Ozark Fox is back as well. And looks like we got a few guys jumping on with us on Facebook as well, so we must be connected over there. Dennis, David W., lots of familiar names. You guys keep coming back. I question why, but you keep coming back. But hey, I appreciate it. You guys are what make this what it is. So, John, Anthony, Scott's on with us on Facebook. Pete's here with us. But anyway, yeah, we did do a live this morning. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Scott's on YouTube. Big Job made it. Herman. I've got a few things I haven't called back, Herman. I don't know what you called about. I've got a few things that from the end of the week I haven't called back on, but most of them I'm caught up on. Just depends on what you called about. Alex on with us. Bill says he likes the Hudson badge. I don't know if I'm Johnny Carson or not, but I know you like the Hudson badge, so we'll give you that for sure. Jason's with us. He's on the road, but he made it. Let's see. Alec on Facebook. So anyway, things got scrolling there pretty quick. There's some Hudson badge to get things rolling. Alec caught part of the live this morning. What the heck? We'll give you one of those too while we're at it. We'll keep this thing moving along. All right. But yeah, we did do the live walk around this morning. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Had a solid crowd on. Didn't have a huge crowd. We had a lot of fun. You guys got to see some of the stuff that's been coming in, some of the things that's been getting shuffled around, getting moved, things like that. So I don't like to do those too often, because it's, they get kind of redundant, but every couple months, somewhere in the 2 to 3 month window, I always try to squeeze one in. And, the last one was just right at about 2 months ago. And then obviously with the auction coming up October 1st, I'm not going to have time to squeeze anything in. So I thought, well, what the heck? We talked about it last week. Weather was obviously beautiful this morning, so we went ahead and got her knocked out. So I'm glad you guys got on. Glad you guys were able to spend a few minutes hanging out this morning, checking some stuff out. Alec liked it from Facebook. Let's see. No, that was not that's not the trivia question. Number one. Let's see. Yeah, I got Heather in the frame tonight. There's actually a reason for that, too. We're going to get to that here in just a second. John's been missed the live, but he's been watching it anyway. So, well, glad you caught it after the fact. But like I said, I don't want to do them too often because it's all the same. But it's been a little bit, and here in another couple months, we'll do another one. Dad's on with us. Jason, rear window trim on a 57 to 59 Ranchero. I've got 159 Ranchero. Jason, if you want to give me a call tomorrow, I can get you on my list and see if that car has it on there. So let's see what else we got going. Who was it as a birthday coming up in October? Yeah, Jess's birthday's in October, so we're going to be hearing about that a lot. Everyone wants to buy Heather's picture. No, I can't do that. She's part of the group now. Kenny's on with us. Stan's on. Hudson badge. John liked the Rambler wagon. Yeah, that's I got a couple of Rambler wagons, actually. They're pretty cool cars. But anyway, so we got that knocked out this morning. Glad you guys liked it. But anyway, I actually specifically made sure that Heather was in frame tonight, at least on YouTube. I don't know if she is on Facebook or not. Yeah, it kind of is on Facebook. But it kept popping up on my Facebook that it was her birthday this week. So I figured since it was her birthday, we probably ought to at least keep her in frame for the show tonight. So, the one by the front. Okay, that's 65. Yep. Brian dispatched tonight. Yep, glad you're here. That's right. We're going to auction the clock off tonight here in a little while. So just so you guys are aware, I did talk to Brian this week, Brian Dispatch, and he does want us to auction the clock tonight. So he said, let's auction it, donate it back to the show. He made that comment last week, and I said, are you sure? He called me this week. We talked about it. He said, absolutely. So that's why the Miracle Power clock is still up. We're going to auction it off here in a little bit. So be ready for that, guys. That's coming up here soon. Huge shout out to Brian, and appreciate him donating that back in support of the show. So everybody give him a shout out, and somebody's going to get that thing. So let's see. Damien's Garage Builds is on. Hudson badge. Auburn badge. Heather's birthday. What else is going on? What else happened this week? Obviously, Race Week 2.0 wrapped up this week. They had another great event. I hope some of you guys caught some of that stuff. That's such a special deal, and an amazing group of people. And Matt posted that everything went really smooth, and they had a great week. So super happy for everybody that was on Race Week 2.0 this week that had a great time and had a successful week. Let's see. What else? We got lots of comments popping up. That's right. Number one, half a magazine. We'll get to that here in a little bit. But actually, the reason we're going to do half a magazine is there was so much cool stuff in it that by the time I got halfway through it, I was like, there's no way we're going to get through all this. So we're going to do half of it tonight. If you guys like it, then we will do the other half next week, or maybe a couple weeks. If you want something different next week, maybe we'll catch the back half of this magazine later. But we are going to do half the magazine because there's no way we would have got all this stuff in. There was so much cool stuff. That's right. Thanks. Appreciate everybody hitting Brian up. Appreciate that. That's awesome. Let's see. Damien's Garage Biz now he's going to be in trouble because now he has to watch the show while he's out at dinner because of that. So Jason's birthday was yesterday. Huge shout out to Jason for that. That's right, Anthony Meek. There were some interesting things that happened at Mecum this weekend. That is on my notes. That's coming up here next, actually. So you're just one step ahead of me. We're getting to that as soon as I get caught back up. Let's see. Damien wants to pre-bid. Well, we'll try to work through this stuff here and get to it here fairly soon. It won't be the first thing. We'll do a couple of smaller items like we typically do to make sure everybody gets a feel for where their delays are at tonight, since sometimes those can get a little wonky. Brian Dispatch just says life wouldn't be the same without a Sunday night of nobody. So Jason on Facebook, Buick dealership in Mifflinburg, Pennsylvania, selling original neon signs hanging on the building. Oh, that sounds pretty cool. But yes, Mecum Dallas was this weekend. They started, I think, on Wednesday. They had a massive collection of 30s Fords, from project cars all the way up to, very nice restored cars. They sold a lot of the project cars. I think it was Wednesday. And yes, they were dirt cheap. 33, 34 Ford two-door sedans for $1,500, $2,000. There were some four-doors selling for $1,000. So there was some really cheap stuff there on Wednesday in the project cars. I did talk to Jim Wicks. My buddy Jim Wicks was down there, and Thursday and Friday, I think I talked to him Friday morning. He said Thursday picked right back up. Friday morning had been tough already. I don't know how he ended up, if he got anything bought for any of his clients. But Wednesday was super cheap at Mecum. But after that, it kind of went back to about a normal auction, and a fairly strong auction too. But it really kind of makes you wish you were there when you see 33 and 34 Ford selling for $1,500. That's a badge. So Anthony says he watched about 20 hours of it. Wow, that's a lot of it. So, but like I said, overall, and there was still a lot of strong stuff. I mean, Ford GT still through the roof. At a Green Daytona at over 400K. So they had a solid sale. Like I said, I think the Wednesday thing, they were just trying to get that stuff cleaned up, and apparently nobody went that day. David W. said sold a 63 Studebaker GT Hawk for $25K, and that sounds probably in the money. Shopcat made it. James is here. The Auburn badge even showed up tonight. What about that? So anyway, I just looked at the results. I really didn't watch much of Mecum Dallas. I didn't have time. Was busy the whole time. But Elo is here with us, so I didn't really watch much of it. I just kind of skimmed the results, kind of curious to see what things did. And overall, I'd say it was a pretty strong sale, except for Wednesday. But so I had some very interesting things happen this week as far as F&E. As you guys know, I'm part of the F&E Collector Auto Auction. My partner Chris Rocher and I put that deal together every year. And if you haven't been on the website, there is some pretty interesting things that happened this week. You got any Mustang guys on here with us, especially Fox Body guys? My dad had a friend that he knew that had a relative that had a Mustang they were trying to get rid of, and they didn't know what to do with it. So this guy called my dad, and he told him about the auction, so they shipped it out here. 1988 Mustang GT 5.0 5-speed convertible, which, I mean, finding a clean one is tough anymore. I mean, there were a lot of them back in the day, but today finding a nice one, you know, those cars had a lot of plastic cladding on them. They were run hard. They were put away wet. And this car was bought and parked, essentially. It is a white with gray rocker, blue stripe, white and blue interior, 88 GT convertible with 1,794 miles on it. Yes, less than 2,000 miles on an 88 Mustang. Now, you're probably going to say, well, what condition it's in? It's been sitting for 35 years. 2 years ago, they took this car back to the dealership where it was bought new, and they had everything serviced. They changed all the fluids. They changed the cooling system. They changed the oil. They changed the brake fluid. They got the AC working. The AC blows ice cold. They spent almost $3,500 servicing a brand new car, cleaning out the fuel system to make sure this thing is ready. Brian Dispatch says, I'm really good at narrating the F&E cars. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that. So, yeah, that car, there's a few pictures of it that are up. I shot about 70 more pictures of it today. I had really good sunlight today, so I got it out today because we've already got the car here. They've already shipped the car here. The car, we have it in our possession. So I got it out today, did a video on it today, and shot about 70 more pictures of it. So if you got any Fox Body guys on here, if you know anybody who is a serious Fox Body guy, this is one of the best. There's a few out there, I'm sure, that are still brand new with less miles. But 1,794.5 actual miles on an 88 GT 505 speed convertible. Stunning car. Now, what's even more stunning about it is no reserve. End of the day, on Saturday, October 1st, that car is going home with somebody else. So it's pretty epic to come up with a car like that. That came in on Monday, on Labor Day. Robert brought his 70. Dad just said that Mustang has literally never been in rain, never been in snow. It's never been rained on. 1988 Mustang that's never been rained on ever in its life. So it's pretty amazing. Robert brought his 79 Chrysler 300 out on Monday as well. So we've got it here. I did a video on it today. 79 Chrysler 300 is a very interesting car. They only made, I think he said they made like 4,000 of them. Cordoba based 300. It's a luxury sport coupe type car. It had a, buckets, console, floor shift, tack gauges, AM, FM, factory wheels, fender louvers, white with red and blue stripes, 79 Chrysler 300, red interior, pretty cool car, something kind of different. So, Brian knows some guys that would love them but can't afford them. Pete had a red with white leather 90 GT convertible. Anthony says, wow, wicked line of lots. Just checking the auction site. Yep. So that happened Monday. The Mustang got here. Robert brought his 79 300 out. And so that was some pretty cool stuff to start the week. Who remembers the 49 Packard that we pulled out of the building with the 57 Turnpike Cruiser earlier this year? The dad bought. That car is done. The Packard is running. It is driving. It's been buffed out, waxed. It's on there. It's ready to go to the F&E Collector Auto Auction. My partner Chris listed several cars this week. Some cool Mopars, 68 Charger, 70 Cuda with a blower. Another one for the Mustang guys that my partner listed, 08 GT 500 KR with 3,000 miles. So we've got two pretty amazing Mustangs listed at this point already. So we had some really cool stuff go up. And then on Wednesday, Mike Matty hangs out with us on here. He works here in town. A guy that stopped by and was telling him about a car he wanted to sell. So Matty told him to come down and talk to me about the auction. And I know this guy, but I didn't even know he had the car. He brought the car out here in 2013 from Colorado. His mother ordered this car brand new. It is a one owner. It's all original. So the paint is weak. It's flaking. The driver's seat has some tears in it. The engine was changed back in the late 70s. They had it serviced. They forgot to put oil back in it. So the engine's been changed. So it's not a matching numbers engine. But that's not quite as critical on this, even though it is a Mopar. It's not a huge deal. It's kind of a big deal, but it's not a huge deal because it's a 383 car. It's not like it's a Hemi car or anything. It's a 383 car, but it is original and it is one owner. And there's even a book in there. And I opened the book up, and it has every time that this car has had gas put in it from when it was bought new. The first entry says it had 125 miles on it. So they must have got a full tank of gas when they picked the car up at the dealership, had 125 miles on it when they got the first tank of gas put in it. Every one of them since then is logged in this book every time they put gas in this car. So I've tipped you off that it's a Mopar, and it's kind of a special Mopar, even though it's just a 383. And like I said, shout out to Maddie for sending them our way, but it is a 1970 Dodge Charger. Factory plum crazy purple, original paint, white vinyl top, white interior, plum crazy purple, one owner 70 Charger. So that is kind of a bonkers car to find. But it is up on the site too. I have not done a video on it yet, but it is up on the site, and it was pretty exciting to list that too. So that was a neat car to come up with for the auction. So now we've got two Chargers, a 68 that is restored and an all original, other than the engine, plum crazy purple 1970 Charger. The 7, even though, like I said, it's an original one owner car that it needs to be restored to be nice, but you could drive it the way it is. But runs and drives great. The guy that owns it has a shop. It's tuned up. It runs good. The brakes work. The air works. It is factory air, and he got the air working. So it is a pretty cool car. You'll definitely want to check that out. I haven't done a video on it yet. I shot 4 videos today that are going to be going up. I listed an 88 IROC today with 30,000 miles on it. So that car will be posted here soon. But so there's some exciting things starting to happen. So if any of you guys are interested in bringing a car, be sure to let me know so we can get you set up. But like I said, check out the site. I think there's 35 or 40 cars on there right now. More stuff coming in all the time. It's pretty exciting the way it's starting to come together this year, especially with some of the caliber of some of these cars that are coming in. It's going to be an interesting day. I sure hope some of you guys can make it out here on Saturday, October 1st for the F&E Collector Auto Auction. So the IROC is a 305, Pete. So Shopcat likes the 70s even more than the 69. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Ozark drove a new 89 GT convertible. Brian says, don't forget to hit the like button. Appreciate that. Shopcat almost sounds better to not restore it. Just keep it nice. Yeah, and that's going to be a big debate with that car. The paint's flaking off the hood. He said his mom always kept trying to touch it up. It's got all kinds of touch-up marks. It's got a little bit of rust in the trunk floors, a little bit of rust in the rear quarters. He did put a new fuel tank in it, went through the whole fuel system to make sure it is completely running and driving. So it's a pretty interesting car, pretty cool. So Alec likes Mopar. Jamie on Facebook, what do you have for F bodies? For the auction, we've got that IROC, and I think that's about it for right now. Me personally, I've got about, if you're talking about at the yard or in my stuff, I've got about 60 F bodies. I think I don't have quite 60 because Pete had to buy one, so I'm down one because of that, but that's all right. I'll buy more. But I've got almost 60 F bodies in the yard right now. So, But we'll see what happens. There's a 69 Camaro listed for the auction, so there's a couple other F bodies as well. Gary, you're going to run that Charger or Hudson Coupe you have in the front row in the auction? Ram Charger or the Hudson Coupe? No, I'm not going to take either one of those. I thought about taking the Ram Charger, but like I said, I think the fuel pump's out of it because it won't start. It'll hit on a prime cam, but it won't stay running. I drove that when it came in, so I'm just assuming the fuel pump must have went out sitting there. Do we do cycles at the auction? Yeah, we do some motorcycles, some ATVs. We do some of that. We do have some ATVs coming this year. That's right, Brian. They're only original ones, that's for sure. Yeah, Robert's a Mopar man. As he bought that 300 out to sell, and maybe this rate he may end up taking another Mopar home with him. Sam's still waiting for an edition of Easy Rider auction. Don't have any of those in the box tonight. So, but like I said, it's coming together. There's a lot. Tony from Oklahoma City's on with us. There is a lot of things happening. And as always, these last few weeks is when things really start getting busy. So we are, what are we? 3 weeks out. 3 weeks out. So it's going to be a fun time. It's always a great time. We always have a good time. That's why I hope some of you guys can make it. Rico and Jess usually make it out. And I would love to have some more of you out here this year for the F&E Collector Auto Auction. So anyway, that's kind of what I've got going for Open Chat tonight. Oh, we never did touch on housekeeping. Let's do that real quick before we go much further. If you are on the Nobody Show page on Facebook, I cannot see your comments. If you're on the Nobody Show page on Facebook, you'll need to be on the Nobody Show YouTube channel or the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page. The video is shared from the Nobody Else's Auto page onto the Nobody Show page. So if you want to just sit there and watch and hang out, perfect. If you want to comment, participate in the auctions, you'll need to be on the Nobody Show channel or the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page. Trolls, you guys do a good job of taking care of trolls for me. I appreciate that. I ignore them because they're trying to get my attention. You guys run them off. I appreciate that. Please double check your autocorrect before you hit send. If I can't read your comment, I will have to skip it just because I don't have time to sit and try to decipher what it may or may not say. So, as always, I appreciate you guys having my back on that stuff. Any Muncies laying around? I think I've sold them all. I think I sold all I had. I think I'm out of them. I had 2 or 3 or 4 of them laying around, but I think I've sold them all. I had some M20s, and I think I had an M21. I didn't have any crushers, but if I remember correctly, I have sold them all. Hudson badge. So anyway, how about a promo model? How about some badges and emblems besides these? So let's get rolling with the promo model tonight. Then we'll get into some badges, emblems, and auctions, and half of a magazine, and some trivia, and some new inventory, and some new videos. So, let me give you another one of these. So, but tonight's promo model, the 1970 Oldsmobile Cutlass 442 hardtop in a real pretty blue, almost a little bit of a greenish tint to it. From, I don't know what it looks like to you guys in person. It looks like it's got just a slight tint of green to the blue. But pretty nice piece. It does have some discoloration on some of the chrome. We see the chrome's kind of faded off the rear bumper. It really is pretty clean as far as brakes and chips. A-pillars are intact. Front corners are intact. I'm sure Bill can elaborate on this a little bit for us. This is a Johan edition. If you can see that, this was made by Johan on this particular 1970 Cutlass. Pete digs it. As always, not very detailed on the bottom, just cast in. All 4 original road wheels with white wall tires on this 1970 442. These bumper corners do definitely stick out, so it is good that these are still intact. Since obviously this is all one piece. Once they're busted up, they're busted up. It does have the 1970 on the back license plate. Frank said he had a tan one. I don't know if Bill can let us know if this is a rare one. We all got a surprise last week that the 70 GTO promo was actually like a super rare first edition with a Michigan plate on it. Bill, we got to get some promos in the auction. Yeah, we do. I need to get through promos, dig out some duplicates, just have not had time to do it. Interior in this car does have bucket seats in it. Just can't really tell. It does have buckets and console if you can kind of peek in there. Those are Fox like the blue. Pete likes the blue. Number one's got pork chop casserole and stoves. He's going to be in and out. Any good Hot Wheels? I don't have Hot Wheels tonight, I don't think. So there you have it for tonight's promo model, the 1970 Oldsmobile Cutlass 442 in kind of a medium, non-metallic blue with a little bit of wear on the chrome, but really overall in pretty good shape for a 50-year-old plastic promo model. Tonight's badges and emblems. We got a couple of cool things tonight to check out. We also got some of these here. Bill says it is in nice shape, so obviously not quite as rare as the GTO we threw up. Nope, Kenny, pork chop casserole is not the trivia answer. But tonight's badge, Auburn badge. That's not tonight's badge. Wrong badge. I keep grabbing the wrong badges. Anyway, tonight's badge is kind of a special one. As you know, one of my new favorite websites, AmericanAutoEmblems.com, has all tons of super cool stuff on there. I love that site. Obviously, you know I love badges, so I love that site. It's so great in getting the backstory to a lot of these emblems and badges, and some of these obscure companies as well. But tonight's badge, the American Auto Emblem website said this badge is scarce. The last time we looked at a badge that the American Auto Emblem site said was scarce was the front bumper badge for the 1934 12-cylinder Auburn Salon, of which they made like 12 or 14 cars. So I know they made more than this, but that tells you that these are not very common. And even though they made a lot of them, you don't see them very often. They were mounted in a very bad spot. They were very easily broken. And I think that's what makes these more rare. Ozark Fox says, Mr. Hudson's a bad influence. Bill's looking for a body for that 70 GTO for me. Thanks. Appreciate that, Bill. Zach's here, Whiskey Business Garage. Pete, thanks for telling us about American Auto Emblems. He uses it all the time now, too. So, like I said, this badge is not as rare, but the way it was mounted on the car, it was very easily broken. So I think that's why they consider this badge scarce. Obviously, the 1934 Auburn 12 front bumper badge for a 12-cylinder Salon, of which they made a handful of cars, is scarce. This one, I think, was because of where it was mounted. And this one's a little rough, but it is intact, and that's what makes it cool. But like I said, they called this badge scarce as well, just like they did the 1934 12-cylinder Auburn front bumper badge. What we have tonight is a headlight bar badge for the 1929 through 1931 Chrysler 70. This actually mounted on the bar in between the headlights of a 29 to 31 Chrysler. They had three of these, like a 66 and a 70, and then maybe they had like a 60. There were three different ones of these. Near as I can tell from the little bit of research I did, 70 stood for the horsepower of the engine in that particular car. Obviously has the Chrysler across here, the 70 with a lightning bolt through it. This one, obviously, like I said, is a little rough. Pete never even seen it. Yeah, I hadn't either. So I was pretty excited about it. This, I believe there was enameling in the Chrysler, which obviously is mostly chipped out. Would have been chrome plated, but obviously it is, heavily worn as well on the plating. Two screw holes where it literally just screwed right to the front of the bumper, or right to the front of the headlight bar. Brian, wish you had a picture of that car. Well, I actually, believe it or not, I saw one of these cars a couple weeks ago. Believe it or not, I was in a private collection and they had one of these cars with this badge. I don't remember if it was a 70 or not, but I'm going to look. If you guys want to see it, we'll check it out and see if I've still got that picture, and we'll see what it looks like. This was a 66, but this will give us an idea of what we're talking about. Here's one on a Chrysler 66. If you guys can see that. Literally mounted directly to the front of the headlight bar right between the headlights. So you can see where, if you hit a bird right, it would snap it off. If you leaned over it, you're wrong, you would snap it off. Rico and Jess are here. Alex, no, Alex says it's sweet. I'm starting at 100. I don't want to sell it. These are so rare. Here's the front of the Chrysler. That gives you an idea of how these badges were set up on these particular era of Chrysler. So I just happen to have that picture, oddly enough, just from a few weeks ago. This badge is about 3 3/8 long and 2 1/8 tall. So it's about 3 3/8 by 2 1/8 tall. It is beveled. You can see how this was curved at the bow on the bottom part here, where it literally wrapped around that bar and just had 2 screws that went right into the bar. And the 70 just literally stood straight up. So these are a very unique piece, only used for a small window in time with Chrysler. And like I said, obviously not something extremely common. Tim's on with us. So definitely a different piece. It was made by a company called Fox. Has it right on the back. So cool piece. Glad you guys dig it. I've only got one. I've got this one. I've got a 66, I think, but I don't have the third one. I don't remember if it was a 60 or what, but I think I've got a 66 too. I need to dig in the box, but this is a pretty cool piece. I figured you guys would dig it. I wanted to share it with you. Hudson badge. The next badge we're going to check out, this is kind of a unique badge. This was a dash emblem that were never very popular. Can't see it very well yet, can you? But it is new. Rod's on here. Rod's here. Throw an Auburn badge up there, too. Everybody's excited about the Hudson badge. Throw an Auburn badge up there. So this is new in the box. Let's get it out and take a look at it. Rocket Circle Emblem. Now, what this was, these were for Oldsmobile. This is a really cool piece. And they were meant to mount on a dash of an Oldsmobile. And we'll look at it. Check this thing out. It's a cool little piece. It says Rocket Circle right on it. It has the little rocket on it. And you can see right here it has a hole. This was just a single screw mount that dropped in this hole to screw this to the top of the dash. Well, obviously it's missing something. Well, what it did is it had this little piece that went over the screw hole after you were done. And it looked like it was feeding directly off of the rocket. If I can hold it so you can see it, you can see how this swoop was supposed to look like it was coming off of the rocket. Now, the purpose of these was to, and I guess they must have had like a big sheet of stickers, because when you look at the box, it has letters on them. So what I think they would do would like put like the owner's initials in it or something. And it was just a little like personalization piece for your new mid-50s era Oldsmobile. Now, these are not extremely rare. I don't think anybody ever put any of them on. I don't know. They sent like every dealer a box of them. What pieces? Why wasn't it popular? I don't know if they just didn't want to mess with them or what. I've seen a few of them over the years, so they do exist. It's not like there's none of them, but they're new old stock, and a lot of the ones I have seen are new old stocks. I don't think a lot of them put them on, but it is a neat piece, and it is something definitely kind of different. And like I said, it is curved slightly because it was meant to mount to a dash, but it's just kind of a cool with a little tiny rocket in it, Rocket Circle. And like I said, I think that was meant to put somebody's initials in them for the dash badge to personalize them. A lot of you guys have never seen it, so it is 3 1/4 long. Alex says, cool. Dad says they use small letters, small metal letters. They actually had small metal letters in them. and it's about, what is it, 7/8 high. It's about 7/8 high, 3 inches long. Dad said they actually use little metal letters. I don't know if they would glue them in there or what. But it says raffle attached to a 455. Brian, 1 year old started the rocket theme. I think when the Rocket 88 came out in the late 40s, I think 49. The 4, I'm not sure why they had the 4 on there, unless that was just something they kind of put on there to put where you could add, just as an example, you could add something in this area as well. I don't think the 4 had any significance that I know of, unless somebody else on here knows any different. But they're a neat little piece. They really are. Like I said, not unobtainable, but not something you see every day. But a really cool, I mean, just a little tiny rocket in it with the big rocket's fumes coming out of her swoop. It's pretty cool. So, but anyway, cool piece, brand new in the box, mid-50s Oldsmobile personalization rocket circle dash emblem. Try to get it back in the box without destroying the box. I'll finish it up later. That's a badge. All right. Who's ready for some auction time? Yeah, Jess says it's always the hardest putting it back in. Big Job says just like our Pete's have an emblem for the Nash is built who it was built for. So, yeah, I think that's kind of what it was meant to be, as a little personalization thing. Alex has great badges tonight. Appreciate that. But who's ready for some auctions? Auction time. We got cool stuff tonight, as always. We got a mixture of stuff. Obviously, we're going to sell the clock here shortly. I don't want to do it first. I want to do a few small things so that everybody can figure out where their delays are at and what's going on. Everybody's excited. Tweedledee D's ready. Norma's ready. Pete's excited. Okay, you guys are ready to go. Tweedledee D's just like, let's go. Let's get it on. All right. We'll go ahead and get started. Like I said, we'll start with a few smaller pieces tonight so that everybody gets into the groove as far as where their delays are at and things like that. Damien's Garage says he's in trouble, but he's still on with us. So I'm glad you're hanging in there, Damien. We'll go ahead and start off with a few small things, maybe a can or some matchbooks, get a couple, 2 or 3 little things out of the way. Then we'll go ahead and do the clock that Brian so graciously donated back to sell for us tonight. So we'll start off with matchbooks because they're small and simple and not super high dollar. We can kind of get used to where everybody's at. Charles is here with us tonight. Glad Charles made it back again. Any railroad people on with us? Any railroad fans? We're going to start off with some railroad matchbooks. 3 of them in this lot. The first one is the Pennsylvania Railroad, heaviest rail and finest roadbed in America for safety, speed, and comfort. A fleet of modernism. Bill's a railroad guy, so there's the first one, at your service, a fleet of modernism. 8 premier trains, 4 in each direction, led by the new and finer Broadway Limited, first all-room train in history. Bill This says he'll be working for him soon. So, Alex ready on Facebook too? Everybody's getting ready. So, there's the first one. The second one, the Southern Pacific Streamlined Daylights. Check this thing out. 4 scenic routes. Go one way, return another. See twice as much. Enjoy delicious meals. Select in Southern Pacific's dining cars. Doug, oil cans tonight or signs? Yep, we've got cans. We're going to sell this clock. No porcelains tonight. So there's the inside of the Southern Pacific Streamlined Daylights. And one more train matchbook. And we're going to get rolling. As always, we've got to go over the rules real quick. As always, if you guys want to bid, feel free, jump in. Go ahead. Payment, check, money order, Western Union, PayPal, friends and family only. So if you do friends and family, we're good. That's the only way I'll do it since they changed some of the rules. Non-U.S. buyers, if, you're more than welcome to bid, but you will have to pay shipping, and you will have to find out how to get me paid. Non-U.S. wire transfers I think are like $40. If you can get a USPS money order or a money order drawn on a U.S. bank, that is fine. If you would like to buy for a couple weeks and kind of build some stuff up and then do it at once to save on shipping and payment, that's fine if you're a non-U.S. buyer. Or even if you're a U.S. buyer, just let me know what's going on. And so we can make sure that stays square. I use this kind of replenishes itself as I sell stuff. I use that money to buy more stuff. So if we end up spending all of our money shipping out of the U.S., that's not fair to all the other guys in the 48 states that are playing. Some of the smaller stuff, I do include shipping in it in the 48 states. So please bear that in mind. And as always, if you have questions, go ahead and ask them, or you can call me tomorrow. If you buy some stuff tonight and you're not for sure what to do with it, just call me tomorrow, and we'll get it taken care of. I've got most stuff shipped from last week. Like I told Jason this morning, I didn't get his finished up Friday. I got a few of the raffle winners from last week to ship. And other than, in fact, I've got Sebastian's the only one I'm waiting on from last week. So we're in pretty good shape there. I got a few things. I got Brandon's check the other day, so I got his stuff. I'll have his stuff ready to ship. So we're in pretty good shape. So please keep that in mind. Got questions? Even if you want to bid on something you're not sure, you can go ahead and bid, and then just call me tomorrow. As always, after I describe an item, we'll look at it. I'll give you the dimensions. We'll describe it. We'll talk about it, and then we will start the auction. You can bid on it at any time once I start showing it to you. And then when we get after the description, I will put it on a timer on my iPhone, which I have right here in front of me. We will go 2 minutes. I will tell you when 1 minute has passed, when 1 minute and 30 seconds has passed, because everybody has a delay. Some people it's 5 or 10 seconds. Some people it's 30 seconds. So I will tell you when we're at a minute, when we're at a minute 30. Be thinking about your max bid. We've got a lot of these guys who are pretty good at sniping people. So if something is at $50 and you're going to give 80 for it, you're better off throwing 75 or 80 out there, because if you try to go another $5, you're probably going to get sniped. So please bear that in mind. I will give you these times, let you know when we're live on the clock, and then we'll go from there. So any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Or if you buy something and you're not sure about how to handle it, call me tomorrow. We'll get it taken care of. So one more. Obviously, we've looked at the first two matchbooks. We've already got bids coming in, and our top bid is at 15 at this point. That's right, Eloy said it's an auction. You can bid whatever you want. Zach says he seems to have a bad delay tonight. So the Pennsylvania Railroad and the Southern Pacific are the first two we looked at. I've got Damien at 15 going, and we haven't even got done with the third matchbook. This is the roughest, but it's probably the coolest. Norfolk and Western Railway Precision Transportation. Look at this one. Look at this beast. Bill Pritchard's on with us. Look at that monster. Oh, and this actually just dated itself, and I hadn't seen it. Buy More War Bonds. So this is a 40s era matchbook. It has a route on it. The Ozark Fox says the Hudson badge is what's causing the delay. Carrie's here with us. Check that. Alec at 17 on the matchbook. So there's the three. And they are cool. They've got great graphics on them. So let's get this on the timer and get this thing rolling on our 2 minutes. Alec at 17 is my high bidder, and we are live. So we're taking along. Alec at 17. The graphics on these things are just amazing. I mean, I literally have to keep going through these matchbooks. Jason at 18, Tim at 20, trying to decide what to keep because there's so many of them. There's no point in me keeping them all. But I mean, like, anybody can keep these. I could keep these, trust me. But I mean, I got a couple of hundred of them, and I'm primarily interested in the car ones. So I'm trying to sort through these. I'm going to sell some of the car ones, but they're kind of tough to let go of. All three won money on the Railroad Matchbook Collection. Get out a paper clip so I can keep these things together when I get done with them. And we're ticking along as we're coming up on the 1 minute mark. I've got Tim at 20 on the three matchbooks. And 1 minute has now passed. We are heading towards that minute 30 mark. Tim at 20 is our high bidder. So hopefully you guys are kind of figuring out where you're at as you throw a few bids out there, seeing when you put them in versus when I see them as we tick along. Kenny says they are cool. Go railroad guys. Yeah, it's like I said, if I just found a handful of these matchbooks, I wouldn't be selling any of them because they're all good. It had to have been a super cool collection. Coming up on that minute 30 mark, guys. 1 minute, 30 seconds has now passed me thinking about those maximum bids as we get ready to wrap this one up. We're winding down on it. 20 seconds left. Tim at 20 is my high bidder. 15. Bill Disk at 24. 10 seconds left. I've got Bill Disk at 24. Chugga Chugga Choo Choo. That's right. Zach at 25. And that does it. Zach at 25 on the super cool matchbook collection. Those are great pieces for sure. Alec came in at 22 also right after the fact, but Zach had him covered. So great start to the night. Thanks, guys. Let's like I said, we'll start off with a few smaller things that aren't crazy money as we work up to a few bigger things. So Jeff Taylor's here a little late, finally made it. All right, let's do a can bundle of these are kind of some rougher cans. You know, they're again a few smaller, cheaper items to kind of get things rolling so everybody figures out where they're at. A pair of cans, smaller cans, another Atlas polishing cloth can. This is rougher than the other ones that we've been selling. It's got a little rust in the lid. Obviously, definitely shows a little bit of age to this one, some cool patina to it. Atlas polishing cloth. This would be one that you'd throw in the trunk of your rat rod and leave sitting on your spare tire at the car show or something cool like that. But this is the regular size, like all the rest of these, 3.5 inches by 5 1/4, 3.5, 5 1/4 Atlas polishing cloth. Leo digs cans. Damien's Garage Builds at 30. We ain't even got to the other can yet. Bill Discus now need to get a rat rod. The other can, Conoco Cooling System Anti-Rust. This can has some surface rust, but it is in better shape than the Atlas polishing cloth. It does still have the cap on it. It is empty. There is no cloth in this one, by the way. This is just an empty can. Does not have a cloth in it. Little rougher on the back, but obviously more worried about the front, and that's where it really looks still pretty decent. Some of this may even polish out of here. I didn't have time to start polishing on any of it. This Conoco can is about 5 3/4, not counting the cap. And it is about 6 1/4 with the cap. So anyway, a little bit rougher cans, but there again, you know, some stuff that, like I said, I want to keep this stuff mixed up. You know, if we, you know, everything can't be several $100s because that takes a lot of people out. So I'm going to sell this pair of patina cans for one money. Damien's Garage Build is starting us off at 30. And let's go ahead and kick this thing off on the timer. Damien's Garage Build's bumped himself at 40 after he saw the other can. So he wants to make sure that nobody else is even going to mess with him, apparently. So we are live. We are ticking away. Damien's Garage Build's at 40 after he saw the other can. Get my notes made here so I don't get behind. Sometimes I have a tendency to do that. And Damien's Garage Builds at 40. He may have just blown everybody out. He may have just went hard and just said, I'm done. I'm going to take it and knock everybody out. We'll see, because we're coming up on the 1 minute mark. That's right. X-Ray says that's how you do it, Damien. Nope. Alex in at 45. Alec ain't going to let him have it that easy. I've got Alec at 45 as we come up on the 1 minute mark. 1 minute has now passed. I've got Alec at 45 on the pair. About how old, says Stan. I'm going to guess 60s probably. I'm going to guess 60s. There's no barcodes or anything on either one of them. They are both all metal cans, metal caps, and everything. Alec at 45. As we're coming up on the minute 30 mark. 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed. Be thinking about your maximum bids based on whatever your delay is. I've got Alec at 45 on the pair of cans. 2 for 1. Can bundle. 20 seconds left to go. Alec at 45. 15 seconds left. 10. Down to the wire. Alec at 45. Anybody going to sneak in on this one? Damien at 47. And that does it. That was about at 158, Damien. You cut that one tight, but you got it done at 47. But that's what makes it fun, guys. Let's do a license plate real quick. This is a little bit rougher one. It has some cool patina to it. Of course, if I was 80 years old, I'd probably look a little rough around the edges too. So actually, if I'm looking, I'll probably look a lot worse than this when I'm 80 years old. But anyway, it is an 80-year-old license plate from 1942 for the state of Kansas. We've sold some of these in the past. This one's a little bit rougher. It still does have a little bit of color to it. It's not rusted out. It's not clobbered. It's not destroyed. It just has, these were a green plate with white lettering. They did have a sunflower in each corner. The sunflower is gone off of these. Embossed Kansas 4266-403. Nope, I'm not 80 years old, Stan. See it embossed on the back. This is fairly close to a standard size license plate at 12 and, what is that? 12 and a quarter by 5 3/4. So 12 1/4 by 5 3/4. David W. starting us off at 30. Norma's at 40 on the 1942 Kansas plate. It is still fairly flat. And like I said, it's got a little wear, a little age to it. Alec came in at 40 also, but I already had Norma on YouTube at 40. Damien's Garage Builds at 55. Let's go ahead and get this thing live on the timer. I've got Damien's Garage Builds at 55. Big Job's even got red siren flashing light for a sniper alert now. All right, on the 1942 Kansas license plate. As we're ticking down, I've got Norma at 60. Like I said, the back has a little surface rust. It actually has a little more green on it than the front does. The front part has some fading to it, but, oh, wow. Kenny came in at 61. Norma just went straight to 100. I don't think Norma's messed. I don't think Norma playing no more. I think Norma done playing. I don't think that was a knife, Big Job. I think that was a hammer. I think it was kind of like, no, done. This is mine. I think it's over. Game over. Yeah. 1 minute has passed. Yeah, I don't think, I said, Norma ain't playing no more. Any 66 cars with a 403? I don't think so. Olds didn't come out with a 403 until the 70s. So, yeah, I think this is Norma's. I don't think Norma playing with nobody. It's just like she's going to just make a statement. That's just the way it's going to be. As we come up on the minute 30 mark, we'll see if anybody else is. I don't think I'd want to mess with her. I mean, as a minute, yeah, Kenny says sledgehammer. 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed. And we'll see if anybody's going to mess with Norma. I don't think I would, because I think she'd come and smack you with the hammer. So, Norma at 100. 15 seconds to go. 10. It does have a pretty cool look to it, though, too. Kind of rough, but not totally rough. 5 seconds left to go. And, yep, that does it. Norma takes it at 100. Zach says she put the axe down. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Bill's afraid to touch his keyboard now. So let's mark that one to Norma. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Anybody thirsty? How about a horn button? I don't know if Jess is still on or not. But this is cool. I don't think she needs it, but it's pretty cool. Zach says we all need a drink now. How about a horn button? This is a pretty cool piece. Plastic, not busted up or chipped up or anything on this super cool black rimmed gold Nash centered horn button. You okay, Jess? Jess says 45 right out of the gate. Let me give them the dimensions and we'll get this on the timer. It is 3 1/8 on the wide stuff. That's right, Alec. When light splits come up, Norma doesn't pass up very often. She was hardcore on that one. So a little over 3 inches on the outside diameter. Beautiful deep gold on the button. Let's get this thing live. I've got Jess at 45. We are on the timer on this thing. Jeff Taylor says must be ladies' night. Yep. Hubcap to match. Yeah, the hubcap's gone. We done shipped it out. So Jess at 45 on the Nash button. Cool piece. Let's see what happens. It has a little bit of depth to it. You can see there. About 1.5 inches deep here. Bill says Heather might be bidding on it. Big Job put up his sniper alert since everybody's been kind of quiet and sitting on their thumbs. So we'll see what happens. We're coming up on the 1 minute mark. Alec at 55 on Facebook. 1 minute has passed. Alec at 55 on Facebook. Jess is at 60. Taking along on this super cool Nash horn button. A little bit of compound. I should have polished that. A little bit of compound. I bet that thing would really shine. Jess at 60. 120 has passed. Coming up on the minute 30 mark. One minute, 30 seconds has passed. Be thinking about your maximum bids as this thing is ticking down. Jess at 60. 20 seconds left to go. 15. 10. And it looks like that'll do her. We got Jess at 60. So I'll put that back in the corner versions. They'll be out here in a couple weeks for the auction. So ooh, Alec tried to get you. He just 65 just popped up. Just a little bit late, but he tried to get you. Hudson badge. All right. Everybody kind of got things figured out. Everybody feel out where they're at, how things are going. Bill, I need a 56 half-ton fender badges for a 3100. I do not have anything on that, Bill. Don't have any 3100 badges for 56. So, anyway, on to the clock that Brian so graciously donated back. Brian, dispatch, won the clock in the drawing last week. He said, I'm going to donate it back to support the show. Normally, something this big would have shipping on it, but since it was donated back, it's going to be a one-shot deal. That's right. Jess can pick it up when she's out here. On the Miracle Power Clock. I believe this is a 60s era clock. We're going to look it over real quick. I'm going to take it down. I'm going to show it all to you guys. And so you guys know exactly what you're bidding on. So huge shout out to Brian for donating this back. This lens slides out. The lens comes right out of the clock. Now, this lens, this Miracle Power every 1,000 miles, use Miracle Power in your oil and gas. It is cracked. I have taped it on the back to keep it in one piece. You can, I mean, it still presents okay. You could definitely use it. You could get a different one to put in, but this insert does slide in and out. These clocks were used for multiple different things. This one just happened to be Miracle Power. Danielle digs it. Leo, sweet golden goodness in one place. Alex kicking us off at 100 right out of the gate. We ain't even done talking about it yet. Alex ready to go. Alex starting us off at 100. And like I said, shipping and everything is all included. It's a one-shot deal. Since this was donated back, we're not going to worry about shipping, even though typically on bigger stuff we do. Inside, this will need restored. You can see the electrical is pretty weak in it. Or like some people said, just take this out and just put an LED strip in there. The clock is not working at this point, but it is just a basic clock unit on the back to where this could be replaced. It is a beveled face clock. I don't know if you guys can see that in your camera or not, that it is a beveled face clock and the glass is good. Brian says, I got to keep the show going. Yep. Okay, Danielle's with Damien's garage. Okay, perfect. So it is a cool piece. It has a cap on this side. This side is open. I don't know if it's supposed to have a cap or not, or if it's just supposed to be open to slide in and out of the piece. Zach says, just plug it in. It'll be fine. Yeah. This was made by the Ohio Advertising and Display Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Says it right here on the back. So, I hope you guys can make all that out. The overall height of this thing is about 21 inches. Just a tick over, maybe 21 and a half by about 20. That includes this cap out here to the side is about 20. So, there we go. There it is. One-shot deal, shipping included. I'm going to try to put this lens inside a separate box, inside a bigger box with these, to hopefully protect the lens because it is pretty fragile. So there it is, the Miracle Power advertising clock made by the Ohio Advertising and Display Company. I'm guessing this is late 50s, early 60s, with the plastic probably early 60s. But this is all metal. This white part back of the clock is a board, but that's it. This whole housing is all metal. So let's put this thing back in here. Let's put it back up here one more time so everybody can look at it for the last time except for whoever's going to get it. And Randy at 150 is where we are sitting right now. Randy Weininger at 150, and we go. We are live. Randy at 150 on the Miracle Power clock. Danielle Damien's 155. Made in the Buckeye State. So while we're thinking about it, how about an Auburn badge? Got 155 with Damien's Garage. It is a cool piece. Going to be a great addition to somebody else's collection. Like I said, some of this stuff, I have so much of it sometimes that sometimes I just want to move some of it down the road. So, and we are just about to that 1 minute mark. 1 minute left. Damien's at 155. Just past the 1 minute mark. We're rolling on the backside of this one. Who else wants in at this point? Huge shout out to Brian Dispatch for donating it back, helping with the show, helping move forward. How about an Auburn badge? 155. Randy at 160. As we come up on the minute 30 mark, 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed, so be thinking about those max bids. I've got Randy at 160 on the clock. Charles at 165. 20 seconds to go. Coming down to the wire on this one. Down to 10. Big job at 201. Few seconds left. Big job at 201. We're just about done with this one. And that does it. Big job at 201. Well played. Damien's at 212. Alec at 170. So that was just Randy at 210. Holy cow. That was got interesting, but it was big job 201 with when we hit 2 minutes, and that was it. So everything else was after that. So big job at 201. Appreciate that, everybody. And definitely huge shout out to Brian for helping out. So thanks for everybody. Lots of action on that one. And wow, that was 2 minutes, boom, big job, stop, and then like 5 more bids. So anyway, that happens sometimes. Thanks for playing, everybody. Thanks for supporting everything we do here. And like I said, huge shout out to Brian. Thanks for all you guys for playing along on that. So, all right. We're going to get this down so I can get it ready to go to big job. And then we're going to sell some more stuff. And we'll let you stare at this for a little while. If it'll stay. How about that? Yep, there's a new raffle piece. I'm going to have to hang it a little better. It ain't hanging there real good, but hopefully it'll stay for a little bit. So anyway, appreciate it, everybody. What else we want to sell? What else have we not done? What else do we want to do? We got all kinds of cool stuff to do. Let's do something totally different that we've never done before. Highlander's ready for some Ford stuff. You might be on tonight. I've got a couple of Ford things too. We got some Ford emblems we'll do here in just a little bit, Highlander. Let's do, this is another Ford piece, but it's something totally different. So any Oldsmobile stuff, Bill? I've got a really, really super cool Oldsmobile piece that is super, super old and super, super cool that actually I just brought in here tonight. It's been laying out there for 3 weeks, and I've been kind of, should I take it in? Should I not? Should I take it in? Should I not? I actually brought it in tonight. So Big Job says his trigger finger's still shaking. Let's sell something that we've never sold before, and it's something kind of different. I have no idea if you guys are even going to be interested in it, so I shouldn't say we're going to sell it. If nobody bids on it, we can't sell it, but let's grab it. How many of you guys, especially the guys up north of it, have seen people driving around with cardboard over the front of their radiators or their grills in winter to keep the cold air from keeping the car too cool? I'm sure a lot of you guys up north are familiar with that. You know, the guys down south, maybe not quite so much. Well, that concept has been around for a really, really long time. So long, in fact, that they actually used to make custom-made grill covers for those old vehicles. And that's what we've got right here. This is new old stock. It's pretty fragile, but it will unfold and unroll. This is a sure-fit radiator grill cover, new old stock, for the 1938 Ford truck. So this is the oval grill 3839 Ford truck. That's right, Alec. You don't know unless you try. That's for sure. From the Howard Zinc Corporation in Fremont, Ohio, and Passaic, New Jersey. Increases heater efficiency, ensures winter riding comfort for your 1938 Ford truck. Oh yeah, you can do PayPal, friends and family for anything, T-shirts, raffle, or auction stuff. So any of that, bud. Yep, not a problem there. But this, like I said, it's got literally has string that holds this deal together. No zip ties, no plastic, no rubber bands. It literally has string tying this together. The original, like I said, it's pretty fragile. It will unfold. It is flexible. I don't think you'd want to put it on the front of a truck. I don't think it would uphold that. But you could hang it on your wall, and it is the outline of the grill. Tim, cardboard for us poor folk. The people with the dough had those. So, yep, like Alex said, we don't know unless we try if anybody's interested in it or not. But that's what it is. New old stock, still rolled up. It is flexible enough where it, it will unroll and and hang. But that's about it. So anyway, is anybody interested in one or not? We'll find out. If not, we'll throw it back in the box for later on. But it's kind of a different piece. There again, not a crazy high dollar piece, just something kind of different. Kevin's here, just finished with his yard work. So, Pete, I remember those from the barn full of new old stock stuff. No, I bought these at the Springfield swap meet a couple years ago. Ozark Fox says used to run them on the tractor trailer all the time. So anyway, if anybody's in on this, fine. If not, we'll throw her back in the box. But I don't see anybody jumping in, so maybe that there's no bids. We will skip it and move on to something else. So we'll give it a few more seconds, see if anybody. That's right, Leo. They are good to put on at a car show too. So you could do that. I wouldn't want to drive with it because I think the wind would probably shred it. Zach's going to start us at 10. Then Dennis came in at 10. So there's a little bit of interest. We'll go ahead and sell it. Randy at 15. Okay, like I said, and I know it's not a high dollar piece. I don't expect it to bring $100 for sure, but they are kind of cool, kind of different. Jason at 20. Brian says he'll have to send when Big Job gets the clock up, he'll have to send a picture of it. Yep. Jason at 20 on the 1938 Ford truck radiator cover. Like I said, these are custom made, so it will look like the oval grill of a 3839 Ford. So from the Howard Zink Corporation. So these had to have been 40s, I'm guessing. Most of the stuff I bought in that box I bought a box of these of various makes and models. And it was all late 30s, early 40s stuff. Some Ford cars, some Ford trucks, some Oldsmobiles. So just, I don't know, 8, 10, 15 different ones. 1 minute has now passed. I've got Jason at 20 on the radiator cover. And we're ticking down here. We're on the backside. That's right, Bill. It would fit the Railway Express truck that I have. It absolutely would. Zach says he got the Chevy ones, like ones Zach got, those were Chevy accessories. These are aftermarket. But that's where those, and you're right, I did get a batch of Chevy ones and all those parts I bought from my buddy. But these aftermarket ones, I bought a box of them at the Springfield swap meet. Minute 30 has passed. We just missed it, actually. We are down to 20 seconds now. 20 seconds to go. Jason at 20. 15 seconds left. 10. 5. Jason at 20. And that will do it. Like I said, they're not crazy high dollar stupid pieces, but they're neat pieces for, and like I said, that's plenty fair, and that's, what a cool piece for that. So big job. Going to get a clock replacement for it and an LED strip to put in. All right. How about some cans? Anybody up for some cans? We haven't done any cans in a little bit. We'll do some cans. We'll do some emblems. I got one kind of rough toy. I've got another can. I've got another big piece we still got left over from last week too. So, all right, let's get rolling. Cans. Let's do some cans. Let's do a can bundle, a pair of cans. It's been a while since we sold these, and I don't have a ton of these left. I've got a few yet, but these are some of the better ones that I've got left. We did sell a few. The Tour Fiddler, you said I did a live walk. Yes, we did a live this morning. It is on the channel. It is live on the channel. It's in the live section tour, but it is. We did do a live walk this morning, about an hour and 45 minutes. It is up. So, But we've done these before, and what I love about them, and what I think a lot of you guys love about them, is they remind me of back in the days when Kendall sponsored Don Garlits, and they had black cans. And we're going to do a pair of them. How about that? One gold, one silver set of Kendall with the victory thumbs in the red circle. These are both empty. They've both been punched, but they do have the writing on the top of them. These are standard 1-quart cans. They are both composite cans, cardboard cans. One Kendall with gold letters, one Kendall with silver letters. Bottoms are in good shape on these things. The back, superb 10W30. On the gold one, the back on the silver one is 10W40. David W. starting us out at 20 on the pair. So these are cool. You don't see a ton of these. I'm guessing these are probably early 80s. But you think about that, early 80s is now 40 years old, as wonky as that is. But they're cool cans. I love them because they remind me of all those Don Garlits ads with Kendall in a black can. So David W. at 20 on the pair. Let's go ahead and kick these things off on the timer. And we are live. David W. at 20. Get my notes made here. David W. at 20. Everybody going to let him walk away with these things? That'd be a heck of a deal at $20, that's for sure. On the pair, 2 for 1. Can't hold them both at the same time. Hand ain't big enough. Damien's at 25. As we are just about to the 1 minute mark, we've got 25 on the pair. These are cool cans for that, that's for sure. 1 minute has now passed. Be thinking about your max bid as we tick along on this pair of Kendall cans. Whoa, can't hold them all. Alec at 35. 1 minute 20 has passed. Alec at 35 on the pair. 1 minute 30 has now passed. So we are on the backside of this. Be thinking about your max bid. I've got Alec at 35 on the pair. Lee at 40 is my high bidder. David W. came in at 38. I've got Lee at 40 as of right now. 20 seconds to go. Lee at 40 on the pair. 15 seconds. 10. Lee at 40 is my high bidder. 5. And Lee at 40 is our high bidder. That's a good pair of cans for 40, that's for sure. David W. came back at 42, just a little bit too late. Tweedly D was in there a little too late. See if Alec had another bid pop up a little late. We haven't done any, we did a horn button. We really haven't done much for badges or emblems yet tonight. So let's do an emblem real quick. I got this one here that we just looked at. Yeah, this is actually an extra. Who wants it? This is an extra. That's actually why I didn't worry too much about putting it back in the box. I knew I was going to have to show it all to you again. So, there she is. The Rocket Circle New Old Stock badge in original box. Zach at 25 is going to start us off right out of the gate. Like I said, we just looked at it. I'll give you the dimensions on it again real quick since okay, at the time you guys may not have been paying that close of attention. It is 3 3/8 by about 3/4. So about 3 3/8, about 3/4 of an inch tall. Alec's ready for emblem and badges. So if you drop them, does the price go down? As long as I don't break them. So this is in the box. The New Old Stock GM Genuine Parts Rocket Circle Emblem Dash badge. Has the little golden piece that Goes over where the screw hood would mount. Still has the original mounting screw. No, Gray Kitty never did come back. So Alec at 40 on the Rocket Circle Dash Emblem. Let's go ahead and kick this thing off. We are live. I've got Alec at 40. And believe it or not, this isn't the only Olds piece we've got. I know someone's asking about Olds pieces. We've got another one. Kenny at 45 on the Dash Emblem Rocket Circle. Trying to keep all these little pieces here. Kenny at 45. And we are just about to the 1 minute mark. Kenny at 45 is my high bidder. And 1 minute has now passed. So we are on the back side of this. Be thinking about your maximum bid if you're going to jump in on this one. Put the screw back in there because you know what a screw looks like. We just need to see the badge with the super cool little rocket ship on it. Kenny at 45. 1 minute, 20 seconds has passed. And a minute 30 has now gone. We're running towards the end of this. Minute 30 has passed. Kenny at 45. We are running down to the wire on the new old stock Dash badge. 20 seconds left to go. 15. 10. Kenny at 45. Alec at 65. And that does it. Woo! Woo! Alec was boom. That was like a minute 58 and a half. Alec came in with that 65. Woo, that was tight. But Alec snuck her in there just barely. Alec at 65 on Facebook. Man, you could not have cut that much closer. Okay, a couple of comments. Ivy Gold says you on eBay you can order the letters and numbers for those badges on eBay. I didn't see that earlier. When we're in the middle of an auction, I'm just looking basically for numbers. So, Pete, did I go in a specific place or just screw into the dash? I think just kind of wherever they wanted to put it. So, awesome, fun time, guys! Congratulations to Alec on that one. What else we got here? Let's see. Highlander, I need the dip for a few. Let's see. What do we want to do? Man, I got all kinds of cool stuff here. Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go? Highlander's got to put the kids to bed. He'll be back in a minute. Okay, we'll hold off on the Ford stuff for a minute for you, Highlander. This is something that's kind of different. It is an oil company product. However, it's not an oil company product. Does that make any sense? So I'm going to go ahead and sell this to you. It is kind of cool. It's not really a can. It's a tube, but it is a standard oil products tube, excuse me. Jess, any more Nash stuff? It's getting close to bedtime. Nope, I think that's it, Jess. I actually got that out early because I knew you'd have to get to bed. So, no, big job. They don't have any kids shirts. The smallest I have are medium adult, which will actually fit unless they're really, really little kids. The medium adult usually will work unless, like I said, they're little tiny kids. Alex ready for the big item from last week. We'll get that here in a little bit too, definitely. So that's the smallest thing I've got is medium adult, and those are kilo 6. Yeah, they're probably a little bit big for that. Extra large shirts, I think they're 22. It's all in the text. If you look at the description when we get done, I think it's 22 for everything except double and triple, because those are a few bucks more. Jess says we should do a sweatshirt as well. But this piece is kind of different. We'll see what kind of interest we get in it since it is different. It is a dust gun. This package is a dust gun filled and ready to use standard oil products garden dust for insects in your garden, a standard oil company product. This is a big, heavy cardboard tube for insects in your garden. Zach says he would dig a hoodie as well. I can check on prices and we can maybe do an order. There, sweatshirts are pretty expensive, so I wouldn't want to order a ton of them. But I can find out, get a price on them, and then do an order on them that way too. So let's do this standard oil dust gun. It's kind of long, actually. It is 14.5 inches tall. It is about 2 inches in diameter. Has the instructions on the back. So, it is an oil company product, but it's not necessarily an oil company product. Jeff, does it get cold enough for sweatshirts in Kansas? It absolutely does, for sure. Let me check on a price. I can check on a price, and we can do that for sure. That's right, Kenny. Do not eat. That's for sure. So anyway, is there a barcode? I do not see a barcode on this anywhere. So, any interest in this piece? Some of these pieces that are a little different, I'm not sure. So, if there isn't, I'll throw her back in the box. Lee's going to start us at 5. Well, that's a start, so let's see what happens. Lee's going to start us off at 5, and let's see what goes with the garden dust can. Bill, this garden dust sounds like an illegal substance, but he would be in for a hoodie. Lee at 5. Let's go ahead and roll with it. Well, holy cow. Tyler at 20. We are live. We are kicking on it. So Tyler's coming in at 20. Kind of a different piece. I know it's not an oil can, but it is an oil company. It's got an awesome logo on it. Tweety D said 15, but I've already got Tyler at 20. Alec would be in for a sweatshirt as well, so. David W., I'd like a hoodie, but would need to be a tall size. He's got long arms. Tyler at 20 on the standard dust, they call it dust gun, standard dust gun. Tyler, new blood. Kenny's in for a hoodie. 10 seconds. We're almost to the minute mark. We're coming 10 seconds from the minute mark. Coming up on the 1 minute. It may have something in it, but not much. It's, for the most part, it is empty. That's a good question, Lee. I hadn't brought that up. 1 minute has now passed. Yeah, I don't think it's full of much of anything, actually. I think it's pretty much empty. So, Tyler at 20. And a minute 20 has now passed. Coming up on that minute 30 mark. So anybody else that wants to jump in on this one, it's the time to do it. Tyler at 20. And a minute 30 has now passed. We are on the backside of this thing. $20 seconds left to go. Yeah, probably had DDT powdered in it originally. That could very well be true. 15 seconds left. Tyler at 20. 10. And that does it. Tyler at 20. Who's ready for a super cool license plate? It's not Kansas. This one's Missouri. Work jackets. Everyone wants work jackets too. And this one's definitely got some age to it. A 101-year-old Missouri, 1921. Banged up and beat up a little bit, really not bad. I mean, it's 101 years old. What do you expect? Letters were red. Background appears to like it would be maybe white or gray. We see some of it on the back side of it. 104-405. Yeah, it's a cool piece. It's got a few extra holes in it. Some over here, things like that. But there again, it's 101 years old. Like I said, I doubt I'm going to be this good at 101. So Frank's going to kick us off at 20. This is a little bit bigger than a normal plate. Let me give you the dimensions on it. Norma's at 40. It is 14 inches, or just under 14 inches by just a hair under 6 inches. David W. at 50 is our high bidder. And let's go ahead and get this thing live. Norma's back in at 60. We are on the timer. At Alec at 50 as well. But we've now got Norma at 60 to break up that tie between David W. and Alec. Norma at 60. Norma at 60 is our high bidder. We are live on the timer. So we'll kick back and see what happens with this. 101 years old. And here we are holding it, talking about it, studying it. Alec at 75. 101 years later, who'd have thought that we'd be sitting here talking about this, adding it to somebody else's collection from mine. Norma at 100. And like I said, I don't know what else I'm going to find when I start digging out plates. 1 minute has now passed. We are on the back side of this one. I've got one more out of this first bundle that I dug out, but then I know I've got a few more handfuls as I find them that we're going to be selling off. But these early ones from the teens and 20s, I know there's not a lot of those around that I have, period. I've got Norma at 100. Minute 20 has passed. Norma at 100. 1 minute and 30 seconds has now passed. We are totally on the backside of this thing, and we are rolling. Norma at 100. Alec at 125. 20 seconds left to go. Alec at 125 on the 1921 Missouri plate. 15 seconds left to go. 10. Alec at 125 is my high bidder. Coming down to the wire. Norma at 140. 5 seconds left to go. Norma at 140. And that does it. Norma at 140. Woo! That one got kind of ugly there towards the end. Wow. Congratulations to Norma. Thanks to Alec. Super cool piece. Hudson badge. I've got one toy tonight. It's kind of rough. If anybody's interested in it, like I said, it's definitely not the best one. We'll go ahead and throw it up and see if there's any bids on it and see if anybody wants it. It's intact. It's got the wheels. It's got a cool look to it. It's just a little tough around the edges because it was played with. I believe, yeah, it was a Tonka. So let's check it out. We'll see if anybody bids on it. Then we'll go with it. If not, we'll throw her back in the box and put it with something else later. Even Alex says, good win, Norma. Appreciate it. That's what's so awesome is the sportsmanship and the camaraderie that all you guys have here, even during the auctions. That, you know, we don't get anybody that has a lot of egos or attitudes. So, but anybody interested in kind of a rough Tonka, it's been played with. It's been loved. It was a green flatbed stake truck. Stake parts are gone. This was a Tonka farm truck. So, like I said, you know, I don't know if there's anybody that's interested in it or not, or what if we've got any players that, like I said, it's intact. You know, it's missing the grill and the stakes, but body wise, structurally wise, it's here. Well, Bill's going to start us off at 20, so I guess that will at least cover the shipping on it. So, Big Job says they reproduced the stake pockets on eBay, so I guess you could do that. It is not rusted out. Bill's going to start it off as 20, so like I said, I know that'll cover the shipping at least on it. So, what the heck? Let's go ahead and roll with it. Let me give you the sizes on it. So, it's about 14 inches long and about 4 high, about 14 long, just over 4 high on the Tonka Farms, believed to be built to resemble a 57 to 60 Ford truck. Alec at 25. Let's go ahead and kick it off. I've got Alec at 25. Now I've got X-Ray Dean at 25, but I had Alec first at 25, and we are live on the timer. Alec at 20. Norma at 30. She's going to break it up anyway. So Norma at 30 on the Tonka farm truck. The thing actually is kind of heavy. The only thing plastic on it are the wheels. Everything, even the centers of the hubcaps are even metal. Everything on the bottom is metal. This is pickup. Big Job. 57 to 60 pickup is what I think this resembles. So that's where I'm coming up with 57 to 60 on pickup is what I'm thinking that this looks like. But at 35 on the Tonka Farms, kind of a dark green pit truck. Norma at 40. Alec at 50. Alec just took out a couple of bids over on YouTube, so. On the pickups, Big Job, 57 was a new cab because I've got some of those in stock. So this was, yeah, that's George says 50. Yeah, 57 was when they changed cabs. So I've got Alec at 50. We are past the 1 minute mark at this point. We are ticking down. Kenny at 55. Oh, on Tonka. Big Job says on Tonka. Okay. I was actually thinking about the real truck. So Kenny at 55. We are just about to the minute 30 mark. Kenny at 55. That's what messed me up, Big Job. I was thinking about the actual pickups. Minute 30 has passed. Kenny at 55 is my high bidder right now on the Tonka. George was with me. He was thinking about the pickup too. 20 seconds left to go. Kenny at 55. 15 seconds left. 10. Kenny at 55. 5. And that does it. Kenny at 55. All right. And Alec came back in at 70, just a little late on that one. Yeah, Alec was still trying, though. How about another badge bundle? How about a Chevrolet truck badge bundle? Chevy truck badge bundle, Chevy truck badge bundle, Chevy truck badge bundle, and a Hudson badge. 3 pieces in this Chevy truck badge bundle that I taped together and can't find the end of the tape. Here we go, I think. There we go. Maybe. All right, found it. Had them all taped together, couldn't find the end of the tape to take them back apart. Bud says, bring it on. Here we go. Chevrolet truck badge bundle. Chevrolet truck badge bundle. We will start off with a horn button from a late 40s, early 50s, like the 48 to 53 style. These aren't rare. They're still fairly common, but they are kind of cool. It is pretty flat. Has a little bit of a bevel to it. Just says Chevrolet with the bars across it. It is. Tony's here running late, but he's made it with us. 3 5/8 across by about 3 1/4 tall. 3 5/8, 3 1/4 snaps on the back. The next one, another one of those. We had one other one of these. I think I sold a while back. These are not very common. This is off a 4400 Chevrolet. This is the first Series 55 hood badge. Who remembers the video on the 55 3100 that just came in? We talked about the hood badges. Well, it has a 54 on one side, early 55 on the other. This is the half-year only early 55 badge for a 4400 Chevrolet. So these are not very common. This one does have some pitting in it. It is not broken or chipped. It does still present very well. It is 9 7/8 long, 9 7/8 from tip to tip. It is 2.5 high. Number one of those horn buttons make excellent cab gas cap hole covers if you move the tank. Yep. So this is kind of a rare piece. 4400 is a little bit bigger truck, but this was only a half a year deal. And it is flat and it is stud mount. The studs are still intact on this particular one. One more piece. 3 badges in the Chevrolet badge bundle. The 1941 to 1946 grill badge. This stands up right in the middle of the grill. These are a pretty sharp badge. Alec is starting us off at 30 on the Chevrolet badge bundle. This has a slight bevel to it since it mounts on the front of the grill. It is 5 3/8 by about 1.5 inches. 5 3/8, 1.5 inches. Brandon at 40 on them. This is pot metal. It is not chipped, cracked, or broken. It is screw mount on the back. Kenny at 42. So there we go. All 3 pieces on the Chevrolet truck badge bundle. Kenny at 42. Tony says he's bought some of these already. So I know we did one similar to this, and we probably did a horn button. I don't think I've done any 41 to 46 truck grill badges, but we are live right now. We are on the timer. I've got Kenny at 42. And we are live. Kenny at 42. I've got Alec at 50 on Facebook. All 3 won money. Slot an Auburn badge in there too. Alec at 50. Ken Nolan's here with us. He likes him. I've got Kenny at 52 now as we come up on the 1 minute mark. Kenny at 52. All 3 won money. This one is stamped steel. These 2 are pot metal, and they are not chipped or broken. Kenny at 52. Minute 20 has passed, almost up onto the minute 30 mark. Kenny at 52 as we pass that 1 minute and 30 second mark. So be thinking about your max bids depending on where your particular delay is at and how it falls. All 3 won money. Kenny at 52. 20 seconds left to go. 15. 10. Alec at 55. Zach at 60. 4 seconds left. We're just about done. Zach at 60 is my high bidder. Pete at 62, and that Kenny at 62. Kenny at 62 was who had it first over Pete. That was all right there at the end. I had Kenny at 62, then Pete popped up at 62, then Zach popped up at 63. So I had Kenny Peterson at 62 at the 2 minute mark. John missed the clock auction. Big job at it, John. So I had Kenny at 62 on the Chevy truck badge bundle. All right, I've got a couple of different ideas I want to throw at you guys. Anybody interested in a big can, 5 gallon? And obviously they're not heavy, but there's going to be shipping involved, so that's why I'm asking. I've got one in here. Randy says yes. So there would be $25 shipping on it, and like I said, they're not heavy. It's just a bigger box. Bud says, yep. Tell us it is brand name, Tyler. If you guys are interested, we'll throw it up. We'll just figure $25 shipping on it. And a lot of you guys have always said, do some mystery stuff. So I threw a couple more cans inside of it for mystery cans. And they're not, and don't think, and they're not super great, super high dollar cans. They're average cans. There's some that we've given away before. I don't think we're not selling the big Buick can. Trust me, we're not selling the big Buick can. So lots of support for it. So let's see if we get any bids on it. It is a bucket type, so it does not have a lid, which is great because it makes a great little wastebasket, things like that. But you guys want to see it? So let's check it out and take a look at it. It is 5 gallon Skelly Supreme multi-purpose grease. So these cans have gotten more popular. You can hang these up high and still see them. Obviously, being a Skelly can, like we look at all the quarts, they have these awesome oil derricks all the way around them. Gold can, Skelly Supreme grease. On both sides, actually. It does have a dent on this side. But it's not a perfect can, but it's definitely not a bad can. It is open top, so you could use it for a wastebasket. It would have had a lid on it. The lid is gone. There is no lid. Obviously, a lot of interest in it. John just says sexy, sexy, sexy. So, yeah, it's a cool piece. I think with a little bit of time, a little bit of elbow grease, and a little bit of rubbing compound, some wax, I think this thing would be epic. I think a lot of this color would really pop. It is a Survivor can, Bill. That's for sure. Big Job says make a lampshade out of it. But it is a cool piece. Like I said, $25 shipping on this piece because of the size mainly. There are 4 cans in it. 4 mystery cans. And don't get, like I said, they're average cans. So don't think that there's a $100 can in it because they're not. But we got a lot of bids on this thing. What's happening here? Randy at 60. So Randy at 60 as of right now. This does have a plastic handle on it. So this is probably a 60s era can from the Skelly Oil Company for Skelly Supreme multi-purpose grease. Don't forget, oh yeah, your lamp with the galvanized funnel. That's right, Big Job. So, $25 on shipping on this can. And let's go ahead and kick this thing off. I've got Randy at 60. And we are live. Number one, you can flatten it and use it to cover the shop walls. There you go. Yep, that was a lot of grease, that's for sure. So there it is. I've got Randy at 60 on the 5 gallon Skelly grease can. The bottom is still intact, surface rust, but still intact. 4 mystery cans inside. You're actually getting 5 cans, 4 mystery cans inside of it. But like I said, they're not super exciting. We've given some of them away on raffles before or on trivia and things like that before. So, but there are 4 mystery cans coming with this as the 1 minute mark passes. So everybody wants mystery stuff. There's 4 mystery cans in here that is going with the Skelly can. If it's big enough, you can throw some stuff inside of it to ship it. So 1 minute 20 has passed. Randy at 60 is my high bidder. 1 minute 30 seconds has now passed. If you're thinking about jumping in on this one, now is the time to think about your max bid. Actual metal. 20 seconds left to go. Coming down to the wire. Randy at 60. 15 seconds. 10. 5. This thing's getting heavy. I'm glad we're about done. Lee at 63, and that does it right there at the end. Woo! Lee barely snuck that one in, but Lee did come in at 63. That was a pretty nice snipe, Lee. Tweedly D came in at 67 a little bit after that, so you guys were gunning for it. But Lee was the one that came in at about 159 and snuck it out of there. All right. Gail's on a little bit late, but you're still here. We're still doing some auction stuff, so you're okay. All right. Where do we want to go next? How about something? I'm going to do a reserve piece. 69 Rambler, gauge bezel, and taillights. Do not have anything there, Ken Nolan. Haven't done a hood ornament in a while. Anybody up for a good hood ornament? Now, this is going to have a reserve on it. It's got to bring something because this is a re-chromed hood ornament, but it is a beautiful, beautiful piece. So we'll see what everybody thinks about it. We'll see if we get some good bids on it and see if we're going to go ahead and cut this one loose too. Like I said, this is re-chromed, so it looks awesome. It's got a few scratches in it, but it is a beautiful, beautiful hood ornament. So we'll see if our hood ornament guys are ready to go. New slogan for can auctions. Can you see yourself owning this? Yeah. Actually, we missed a bunch of comments there that were popping up during that last one. So John said his wife took a look at the TV as she walked out and said that all of us are nuts. I think we can take that as a compliment. I'm going with that. So let's check out this hood ornament. Let's see if we get any action on it. Since it is re-chromed, it's really nice. It's going to have to bring something. But it is a beautiful, beautiful bird hood ornament. 1956 Mercury. It is sleek, it is slender, it is sexy, it is bright, and it is beautiful. So it's a cool piece. Excited about it. We can tell it's been re-chromed because you see some thin spots down in here. Kendall says he got a customer looking for those. Brandon starting us off at 70. That's not going to get us there, but that's a good start for sure. This thing is wingspan. We'll call it the wingspan. Is about 9.5 roughly. And length overall from the tip to tip is about 13.5. Alex digging it. So about 13.5 tip to tip. But like I said, bright chrome, beautiful piece. Definitely got some weight to it. John, what was that on? This is off of 56 Mercury. I think that's what it was. I bought it with a bunch of 56 Mercury parts, and it looks right. So I didn't take it off, but that's where it came from. So we've got an opening bid from Brandon at 70, but this is going to take a little more than that because of the condition. So I don't know if we're going to get any more serious bids on it or not. That's a great start. I got it this way. I did not have it re-chromed. I bought a bunch of parts, and this came with it as well, some other 56 Mercury parts. Big job at 100. Actually, and like I said, we're still not quite there yet. So let's see if we get a few more bids on this. We'll throw it on the timer. If we get a little bit more, Charles at $1.25, which is getting pretty close there. I wanted to see about 150 out of it, but what the heck? We got Charles at 125. Should we sell it? Should we put it on the timer? What the heck? Let's go with it. I got Charles at 125. Let's go with it. It's not quite there. We might get there. We might not. We may be stuck. I got Charles at 125. We're live on the timer. What the heck? Let's sell it. Ozark, Beck's colors on a 56 Merc was Lauderdale blue and white. That is pretty. Kenny saying sell it. That's what we're doing, Kenny. We're selling it. If anybody else wants to jump in, I've got Charles at 125. Tim says run it. There we go. We are live. That's right, David F. Chrome is expensive. This thing's got some weight to it. Charles at 125. See if anybody else is going to jump in on this thing because I wanted a little more out of it, but we'll see if we get it. We'll see if we get any other bids on it. Maybe a 125 is okay. It should. I mean, obviously, what Chrome costs if you needed it, it's worth $200 or $300, pretty easy. But I know we're buying it as memorabilia, so we're coming up on the 1 minute mark. Charles at 125 is my high bidder. She is pretty. It's like a mirror. That's right. Pete says that was probably the cause of Nader's spear theory. 1 minute and 20 seconds has now passed. Let's see if anybody else is going to jump in. I'm going to let it go, but I don't see if anybody's going to jump in and outbid Charles at 125. 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed. We're on the back side of this. Coming down to the wire, Charles at 125. Eloy at 126. 20 seconds left to go. Eloy at 126. 15 seconds left. Anybody else coming back in? 15 seconds left. 10 seconds left. Eloy at 126. Big job at 150. And that does it. Big job at 150, and that's exactly what I was hoping to get out of it. So, I mean, that worked out perfect. Big job at 150. Charles came back at 151, just a little bit too late, but big job at 150. Charles was gunning for you. He was just about 5 seconds too late time it came through. Yeah, let's do a couple more matchbooks. Once again, awesome graphics. Super cool pieces. Every time I grab matchbooks out of that box, they're just cool, period. So that's one reason I'm selling them. Because like I said, if I just had a couple handfuls, they're also cool. I would have to keep them. These are Trucking Company matchbooks. So we'll start off with, this is early. This is probably 30s. The Watson Brothers Company Incorporated Bonded Transportation. Around the world every 24 hours with the Watson Brothers Transportation Company. Chicago, Des Moines, Sioux City, Omaha, Lincoln, Denver, St. Joe, Kansas City, and St. Louis, Missouri. Refrigerator service. Not a Ripley, believe it or not, but a plain statement of facts around the world every 24 hours. Watson Brothers, fleet of more than 200 company-owned and operated trucks travel daily a distance of 25,400 miles, a distance greater than that around the world. Check out the graphics on this thing. Don't tell me that ain't epic. This thing is beautiful. Got to be 30s era, I'm guessing. That's where it has their around the world statement inside. Big Job says been wanting one like that for a long time. That's cool. I'm glad you got it then. The next one, Arrow Mayflower. This is probably an early 50s America's finest long-distance moving service. Kansas van and storage, Topeka Boulevard. So I assume this was probably in Topeka. Great looking truck on this one as well. Nothing on the inside of this one. And the other one is kind of a big matchbook. Not as big as one from last week, but Southeastern Motor Truck Lines. And this is an early COE on this matchbook. Company terminals, Atlanta, GA, Humboldt, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Paris, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, General Office, Memphis, Evansville, Missouri, or Evansville, Indiana, and Kentucky, and St. Louis, Missouri, with a super cool truck on that one as well. So, all three trucking matchbooks for one shot. Brandon's got to jump off, but like I said, super cool graphics, absolutely amazing looking trucks on these matchbooks. So let's kick this one off. Get anybody in on those? We'll go ahead and start it off. I don't have any bids yet, but I'm sure somebody's going to be. Alex is going to bid 15 on them. Say somebody's going to bid 15 or 20 bucks on these. So we'll go ahead and kick it off. We are live. I'm going to get my notes caught up here. Oh, holy cow. I literally thought there was a light on down here. I got hit in the eyes with a light shooting up at me. It's the Mercury hood ornament. I was like, what is that? There's like a flashlight. It's the chrome on the Mercury hood ornament hit me in the eye from down there on the floor where I sat it in the corner. All three trucking company matchbooks, one money. Alec at 15. As we come up on the 1 minute mark, Auto Salvage Outlaws is on with us. They were on us with our live earlier today. Glad you guys made it back. As we come up on the 1 minute mark, 1 minute has now passed. I've got Alec at 15 on the trucking company matchbooks with these awesome, awesome pictures of these old trucks. All three, one money. $120 has passed. That's right, Big Job. Make sure you got your welding helmet on when you open the package. That's for sure. Alec at 15. 1 minute, 30 seconds has now passed on the matchbooks. $20 seconds left to go. Alec's going to sneak these out of here with one bid, one easy bid. 15 seconds left to go. Pete at 18. 10 seconds left. I've got Pete at 18. Bill Disc at 21. 5 seconds left to go. Bill Disc at 21 and Pete at 22, and that does it. Woof. Bill Disc back at 23 and Pete at 22 at the end. William came in after the 2 minutes was passed, is why that 23 that wasn't it. So yeah, that we're on the 2 minute timer, and whoever, when it's 2 minutes, whatever I see is where we got to stop at. And that costs me some money sometimes, but that's the only fair way to do it. So okay, how about this? I've got 2 groups of cans, 2 groups of emblems, and then the bigger piece. How about we do that stuff and wrap it up? Yeah, that's right, Alec. You almost got them. Everybody just kind of sat there on their thumbs until the end. So, yeah, Larry, I got your message. I just had time to call you back. I've got 3/4 inch lugger inches, but are they the correct one? I don't know. If you want to come out and grab one that's 3/4, I'm sure I've got something, but I don't know if I've got the exact one with the right angle on that. I've still got your message. I just hadn't called you back yet. So let's do a couple. Let's do a can, an emblem, and then we'll do this big piece, and then we'll probably move forward from there. So both these cans are going to be 2-can deals, 2-can Sam deals, 2-can deals. The next one's going to be an antifreeze can lot, but they are metal antifreeze cans. The first one is a 1-gallon Prestone all-metal can with a bright red coloring to it. It's got some surface rust at the bottom, but still has good colors, bright poppy red on it for sure. The cap is off, but somebody saved the cap and actually taped it to it. Tim says the lag time does fluctuate some week to week. So the back of it is dented and has some surface rust as well. Has information on the sides as well, on both sides actually. So there it is, the Prestone Antifreeze 1-gallon metal can. Like I said, there's going to be 2 cans on these. The next one is also an antifreeze can, a DuPont 1-quart Zerone metal antifreeze can. We can still see the seam on it. This one's pretty nice. Has the information on the back. This has been cut out at the top, but a very nice DuPont Zerone anti-rust antifreeze can, 1 quart from the DuPont Chemical Company, Polychemicals Department, Wilmington, Delaware. So 2 antifreeze cans, both metal, 1 quart, 1 gallon. And who's going to kick us off on these? On the pair of antifreeze cans. Because this one's great. This one's okay. This one's great. So we'll see if anybody's going to kick us off. If not, I will put Randy bid. So I'll throw these back in the box and keep this one because this is pretty cool. I kind of dig this one. But Randy's going to kick us off at 15. I got X-Ray Dean at 15, but I already had Randy at 15 first. So let's go ahead and start it. We are on the timer. Randy at 15 on the pair of antifreeze cans. Dennis at 20. Let's see. Randy at 21. Do we lead this as 70s? I would guess so. This might even be 60s, but I would say they're probably 70s. I don't see any barcodes on them. They're both metal. So Randy at 21. As we come up on the 1 minute mark, Sebastian's here with us. Randy at 21, and the 1 minute mark has now passed. So let's see who's going to sneak in on these. These would be a smoking deal at 21 because this is such a great can. So, but here they are, 2 for 1, pair of cans, ready to go. X-Ray Dean at 23. Coming up on the minute 30 mark, Dennis at 25. And 1 minute, 30 seconds has now passed. Dennis at 25 is our high bidder. Shoot, just this one's got to be worth at least that, if not a little more. 20 seconds to go. Dennis at 25. 15. X-Ray Dean at 27 with 10 seconds left to go. Randy at 28. 5 seconds left to go. And that does it. Randy at 28. Oh, Bill Disk barely missed that. It was like 2:01 when Bill Disk came in at 35, but I already had Randy at 28 when we hit 2 minutes. Tweely D at 36. Yeah. Randy got a pretty good deal because those other bids were, that should have been $40, $45 pretty easy. And those other bids were getting there, but Randy was the one that was the lucky winner sitting there when it hit 200. Randy at 28. Badge time. Chevy badges. One of the cheap ones that we always throw in. Just the regular plastic ones we always throw in. Always throw the extra bow ties in. 5.5 inch wide plastic bow tie, flat mount, toolbox type emblems. But I got another one of these early ones out. Another one of the enamel 29 to 31s. This is not a bad one. Like I said, I've got several of these, but I don't have a lot that are decent. So that's, most of them were pried off and they're bent over, folded back. This one's got some chipping, but it's not bad. Kenny's going to start us off at 25 on these right out of the gate. Polish it up a little bit more. We'll make her shine a little bit. Because these are great badges. It is about 3 inches by about 3 inches, basically. 3 inches by 3 inches. Fairly flat. This one's tweaked a little bit. These were the press mount on the back. Eloy at 30 on the pair. I'm going to throw this one in. Basically, we're selling this one. I'm going to throw one of these in. Just like to throw them in there. Kenny at 32. We'll go ahead and kick it off. We are live. Kenny at 32. All right, let's see. Zach at 33, Kenny at 34. Sebastian would love the bid. He's got plenty. Yeah, you got a pretty good stack here sitting here. We got to get to you, Zach or Sebastian. That's for sure. Zach is in at 35. Eloy at 36. Kenny at 36, but I already had Eloy at 36. Coming up on the 1 minute mark. Kenny at 37. 1 minute has now passed as we're ticking along on this thing. Kenny at 37. Jason in Rochester in the hotel, ready for the rest of the show. Awesome, Jason. Good luck this week. I hope everything goes great for you guys. All of us are pulling for you. Minute 20 has passed. Get a good night's sleep. Get some rest tonight, Jason. I hope everything goes great for you and your wife tomorrow. I hope that she gets to feeling better and everything works out for the best. 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed. Relax, get some rest tonight, and hang out with us and have a good time. Kenny at 37. 20 seconds left to go. Zach at 45. 15 seconds left. 10. 5 seconds left. Kenny at 47, and that will do it. Zach was right there at 48, but it was at 202. Kenny was at about 158. Kenny at 47. All right, how about a couple of handy oilers? One of these is common, but one of them's super cool. So we're going to throw in a common one with a really cool one and see what you guys think. Jason even brought a couple of beers with him for the Hudson badge. We better give him one of those. What the heck? We'll give you one of those too. Glad you're with us, Jason, and glad you can still get to hang out with us for a little bit. So 2 handy oilers, double batch of handy oilers. The first one is the kind of the normal one. We've given some of these away, the basic 3-in-1. However, this is a metal one, red and white 3-in-1, and this has the cap on it. So that's what's cool about this. It's a pretty nice one with cap, but it is the fairly common, basic 3-in-1 household oiler. The next one that I'm going with this is pretty cool though. Outers 445 gun oil for firearms, prevents rust for shop and home. Gun oil handy oiler. Metal can as well. Protects metal surfaces. Does not gum for shop or home. Polarized, the perfect lubricant for fast running fine mechanisms. Use on all electric motors and home appliances. Use sparingly. Give a few drops. Gives perfect lubrication. So 2 handy oilers. Cap is missing off of the Outers gun oil. But anybody interested in these? I know this one's fairly common, but the gun oil one is kind of cool. So we'll see what X-Ray Dean started us off at 17. So we're good to go on these things. Let's go ahead and sell them. I know the gun oil I thought was pretty cool. Zach is at 20. We are live on the Handy Oilers. All right. Sebastian, stop clicking the cans and want to buy them. You bet, Jason. Don't forget, everybody's pulling for you. That's for sure. X-Ray Dean at 21. I know it sucks when you got to fight that stuff, but I'm sure everything's going to work out, and you guys will pull through and keep hanging out with us for a long time. So, Big John says we need the gun oil for today. That's for sure. X-Ray Dean at 21. We're coming up on the 1 minute mark. Not quite there yet. And 1 minute has now passed on the Handy Oilers. I've got X-Ray Dean at 21 as of right now. One minute, 20 seconds has passed. X-Ray Dean at 21. A minute 30 has now passed. X-Ray Dean at 21. 20 seconds left to go. 15. 10. Ozark Fox's dog heard the popping noise. 5 seconds left to go. And that does it. Oh, Zach came in at 22, right at like 200.5. Zach came in at 22. That could not have fed like any half a second slower on that one for you, Zach, because I had X-Ray Dean at 21 when it was 200. Like I said, I know that one's kind of common, but it is nice shape with the cap, and that one is pretty neat too. So, all right, let's do a couple more things. We'll do one more Emblem bundle, and then I want to do that big piece yet. So, and it will have shipping on it for sure because it's big. One more badge bundle, then the big piece. Let's do a Ford truck bundle. Ford truck. We'll start off with kind of one of the basics. F-350 Ranger. This is a mid to late 70s F-350 Ranger. It is 5 7/8 by 1 3/4 inches, 5 7/8 1 3/4 inches. It is a flat, Emblem stud mount. Studs are still intact. A 1952 F5 side hood badge. This is fairly flat. It is notched to go around the hood molding. It is stud mount. The clip that snaps in the back with the studs is still intact. This is a stainless piece. It is a very nice, bright stainless, almost like a mirror. So that one, so there's those two, and then one more set of Ford letters. These are 1948 to 1950 Ford truck header panel letters that mount just above the grille on a 48 to 50 era Ford. So I don't know how I'm going to hold these up. Actually, they're not cooperating. Pete's digging them, and we ain't even done yet. I don't know, I'm going to hold these up. F-O-R-D. Look at them individually. Here's the F. These have a slight curve to them because they mount on the front header panel. They have clips that hold them on the back. Here is the O. So here's the F. Here's the O. Here's the R. And then here is the D. So that's how they look. 48 to 50 era header panel letters for a Ford truck. So all of this Ford truck. Wheelie D starting us off at 25. The set of Ford letters, the F5, which the diameter on this is about 3.5. It's about 3.5 diameter, and the F350 Ranger. So those two emblems plus the full set of letters for the 48 to 50 Ford truck header panel. Tweedly D starting us off at 25. Let's go ahead and kick this thing off. Let's get on that timer. Let's keep boogieing. And here we go. Kenny at 26. Kenny at 26. I don't know if we still got Alec on over here or not, but keeping an eye out there too. You never know when he's going to jump back in. Kenny at 26 on the packet of Ford badges. And coming up on the 1 minute mark. Surely just Kenny's not going to jump out there and beat Tweedly D right out of the gate and then just sit there and nothing else happened. 1 minute has now passed. We're on the back side of the whole bundle. Here we go. All for one money. Kenny at 26. Alec at 30. Randy's calling out the snipers. I've got Alec at 30. And 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed. Alec at 30 on the Ford badge bundle. We haven't heard nothing out of Highlander yet either. You don't know when he's going to jump in there. Alec at 30. 20 seconds left to go. Alec at 30 is my high bidder. 15 seconds. 10. Big Job at 44. 5 seconds left to go. And that does it. Big Job at 4. Tweedly D came in right after that. At 45, I had Big Job at 44. But if there's one thing we know, I mean, it's user ID's Big Job, so you never know when we're talking Ford stuff when he's going to jump in there. Hudson badge. David W. said he's got a weird delay. All right, let's do the big piece. The leftover from last week that we did not get to. We still got a lot of cool stuff we didn't get to tonight either, but that's okay. We got to keep moving. But I don't want to keep dragging it out on this other big cool piece. There's that cool Oldsmobile piece yet. This is kind of bulky. It's going to be difficult to show it to you. I should be able to show it to you, but we'll see what happens. Tweedly D says he's got a weird delay as well. So another Ford piece. This is an original, I believe original paint even, Patina Model T grill, radiator grill shell assembly. This is a super cool wall hanger. Ford right across the top. Even has a hook kind of hung on it right now, but I probably wouldn't trust hanging that on it. It does have the radiator in it still. There's the back of it. It still even has the neck on it. The neck will probably, it'll probably ship on there. So this has some bulk to it. It has some weight to it as well. So you can see the Ford made in the USA stamped in it right there. That's right, Ken says get a jack, that's for sure. Yeah, you're going to have to have a good stud to hang that. You know what I think I would do if I were planning to keep this? I would take some of the necks and stuff off of it to lighten it up. But it is a cool piece. It's probably going to be about $45 to ship it. So please bear that in mind on this thing, because it's a beast. But it's not huge. It just has some weight to it. So now down here at the across the body, you're looking about 20 inches. You're looking about 20 inches from here to here. Now, it's got some tabs here at the bottom where these stick out the sides. So obviously it's a little wider down here, a couple inches wider on each side. The radiator could come out if you didn't want the radiator. If you just wanted the shell, you know, it's probably going to be $25 to ship it. So that's completely at the discretion of the buyer. This is the cool part, obviously. You know, you can take this out, and what I see a lot of people do with these is take them out and put shelving in it. So you can take this out, get a couple pieces of wood that's, you know, some 2x, you know, some stuff that's 2 inches wide, because this shell is about 3 5/8 deep, and put some shelves in it and put, you know, completely disregard the radiator. So Zach's jumping off for the night. So there it is. This is the bigger piece I had. And so we'll see if anybody's interested in it or if anybody's even wants to bid on it. There again, it is a cool display piece. It's about like a sign, only it's a fraction of the price. So we'll see if anybody wants to get in on this thing, or if I'm going to hang it up or put shelves in it, because I can do that too. We've done some of those. So anyway, there it is. That was the bigger piece I had set off in the corner, and we'll see what if anybody's interested. So Zach's jumping off. Kenny says year, it's Model T, so it's probably 26 on back, 27. I'm going to guess it's early to mid-20s, so it's probably right around 100 years old. I don't know my Model Ts extremely well, but it's probably, you know, somewhere in that early to mid-20s era, so it would be, you know, right around 100 years old for this Ford Model T radiator and grill shell. So anyway, Alec is going to kick us off at 50. So I've got Alec on Facebook at 50. And like I said, whoever gets it, let me know what you want to do on shipping. Because obviously, like I said, if you're going to put shelves in this, it's going to be much, much cheaper to ship it if you don't want the actual radiator itself. If you like the look of it, that's fine. It's just going to be extra, extra shipping due to the weight. So, Alec at 50 on Facebook. So, anybody else going to jump in on this one? Let me get some notes made. Let's get this thing on time. Charles is at 60. All right. We are live. We are ticking along. Can it be used? I wouldn't use it. I mean, it's been sitting around for a really, really long time. I sure wouldn't use it. Charles at 60. So we'll see what happens. This might be a cool piece cheap just because it's hard to ship. But like I said, if we take this out and you just want me to ship this, it's literally like half the price. Take this out, build some shelves for it, put your toys in it, because we've done some of those before, and they work great. Alec at 75. I've got Alec at 75 on Facebook. Well, Rusty Nails, get your raffle tickets in for the Autolite battery cable sign. That's the raffle for the month. That's right, John. That's another thing. Put a mirror in it. I've seen people do that. Take this out, put a mirror in it, and they work great in a bathroom because it's about the right size. 1 minute has now passed. So this is inside diameter, or inside is about 19 by 17. So if you put a mirror in it, it's like a perfect size bathroom mirror. That's for sure. And I have seen people do that. Alec at 75. And 1 minute, 20 seconds has now passed. Alec at 75. And we are coming up on the minute 30 mark. A minute 30 has now passed. Alec at 75. 20 seconds left to go. He's going to sneak this out of here for 75 bucks. 15 seconds left to go. 10 coming down to the wire. Jason at 100. And that does it. Jason at 100. So Jason's got that one at 100. Whenever you get a minute, I know you're busy this week, Jason. If it's later in the week, that's fine. Just whenever you get a minute, let me know what you want to do with it. Not a problem. You take care of your wife. You do what you need to do. And we'll talk whenever you have time to mess with it and figure out what we want to do. All right. What a night. Had a fun auction. Appreciate everybody hanging in there and having a good time. How about a Hudson badge and an Auburn badge? All right. Robert, any old step vans? A few, just depends on what you're looking for. That's right, Kendall. You can do a lot of different things with that type of stuff. So I'm sure Jason's got some cool ideas for it. That's right, Sebastian. You were able to control yourself tonight. Your pile didn't grow tonight. But tonight's magazine, like I said, I just got to half of it and just called it quits. And then went back and did the first. I literally got to the halfway point, then went back and did the first half of the ads because there was so much. Okay, Jason just says keep the Raider, just wants the shell. Perfect. That'll make things a lot easier to ship and make it all work for you. So, all right, tonight's magazine, Motor Trend, October of 1978. Now, why there was so much stuff, Tweety, 2 weeks in a row you got skunked. Well, that sucks. Sometimes that stinks, but I know you're going to be back to Wheelie D, and we got lots more cool stuff to do. So Bill's got to save some money for Carlisle. But the reason there was so much stuff in this magazine was because of all the things that were happening in the late 70s that we still see today as far as fuel economy, electric vehicles. A lot of that stuff was starting at that point. There was so much of that stuff in this magazine that, there was just too much cool stuff. So when we get done with the first half, you guys tell me what you want to do. Kenny says 2 weeks in a row, he spent too much. Has a tendency to happen. Big Job's going to have a semi-delivery. Big Job did well tonight, too. But on the cover, the GM luxury front-wheel drives, the Eldorado, the Riviera, and the Tornado that were all coming out for 1979. Lots of color in this magazine by this point. So some cool stuff in here. And like I said, so much stuff that we're seeing or dealing with the effects of today, 43 years later, of what was happening in the auto industry at this point going into 1979. Everyone says 79 equals turkey. There might be some turkey in there. We'll see. We'll go on a turkey hunt tonight. Jason says that he's the same way. He spent too much the last few months. So, anyway, let's get into this magazine. Cover price in October of 1978 was $1.50. Starting off, get right out of the gate. And like I said, as soon as I got into this thing, there was some cool stuff in here. And like I said, it just kept getting more and more and more. But there was a blurb in here, just a small 2/3 page article on page 6 about an American legacy, about one of the most iconic car collections ever. An American legacy. William Fisk Harrah is dead, but he left a monument to and for us all. Yes, the Harrah collection in Sparks, Nevada. He was in the gaming business in Nevada, obviously made a ton of money, and he had an 1,100 car assemblage in Sparks, Nevada. What was so right about the collection was not the sparkling restoration shops, nor the FAA licensed airframe assembly. nor not even the incredible cleanliness of the buildings or the courtesy and competence of the staff. It was the idea, the philosophy, and the place that fits so magnificently into the fabric of contemporary America. For Bill Harrah was a visionary. He foresaw what gaming was to become in this nation and was forceful and effective enough to create it in his own image. Harrah's was and is the model for all similar enterprises. So, Alec's going to jump off. Appreciate you being here tonight, Alec. Had a lot of fun. Let's see. Bill Pressure to sell I've got a 57 Napco. I still have it, Bill. So it is still here. But the Harrah collection. Oh, and Jason on the other. Also, Jason, let me see if I can maybe get that boxed with your game set since I didn't ship that. So you wouldn't have extra shipping, at least on that. Let me play with that. If you're not worried about the radiator, I might be able to put the game set inside where the radiator is and put it all in one box. So don't get in a hurry on that, Jason, on shipping on that. Let me see what I can get done with packaging that up with your stuff from last week. So the thing about Harrah's, it was an amazing car collection. Now, a lot of us, I barely remember hearing about the Harrah's collection as a kid. Obviously, this is October of 78 when he passed away, or right before that. The collection was sold off. And this article about Anthony said he did see the collection in 80. So that must have been shortly before it was sold off. But to wrap this, it said William Fisk Harrah died at 67 within a month of the celebration of the 75th anniversary of the founding of Ford Motor Company. There is significance to that. Henry Ford built the car. Bill Harrah built its monument. That's how highly regarded his collection was. And I was actually walking by Dad's, and I remember Dad saying he was there. Dad was there just before they started selling it off. So I was going by my bookshelf, and I forgot that I had this, and it's kind of rough, actually. But here's the book, Harrah's Automobile Collection, the Special Edition. I have this in my personal library. Randy saw it in 79. So it is a pretty amazing collection, or was a pretty amazing collection. And obviously, there's so much stuff in this book, there is no way to actually go through it all. 36 Cadillac sightseeing bus, 33 Cadillac Phaeton. I mean, there's just so much cool stuff in here. Plus, this book is rough because it's from the 70s. 33 Duesenberg Speedster, 31 Duesenberg, 09 Ford, 07 Ford. It's from the common stuff to the extremely rare and exotic stuff. Franklin's, Jewett, Jordan, 32 Lincoln, 31 Lincoln, Overland, 1900 Packard, and the Andy said the Bugatti stood out to him. Yeah, 1910 Palmer Singer, 40 Packard touring sedan, 23 Rolls Royce Phaeton. Tons of cool stuff in here. Kenny says, looks like it's in good shape. Man, it's a pretty little weak. Andy said, you remember there were 2 Bugattis. How much of it does Jay Leno have? I don't know how many he has. But this was Harrah's Automobile Collection Special Edition is what this was. And it actually had another book in the back of it that called the Automobile Listing. Obviously, with 1,100 cars, they're not all pictured in here. This insert book actually specifically listed everything in the collection. And it took more than a day to go through. So, quite an amazing deal. Like I said, I was too young to really remember it. Here's some pictures of their restoration shop. And remember, this was all in the 70s. Bill, does it have the transfer case and transmission? Is it a big window? We're talking about the Napco. Transmission transfer case is there. It is a small back window. So, yeah, if you want to give me a shout, or I can get you more pictures of it, or go over some details, you want to give me a shout on it tomorrow and go over the specifics of it. No engine, but the transmission and transfer case is there. Kenny's one eye, can't see how the other. Yeah, it's so old, the spine is getting weak. If you see here, these front pages are starting to pop out of the spine. But there again, an interesting side note since it talked about the death of Bill Harrah in this magazine and his amazing collection. How do you spell his name? Harrha. So, like I said, before my time, but I remember the stories. I remember Dad talking about it. Had this book on the shelf. It was actually in the new yard in the office when I bought the new yard. So, kind of a cool piece. Like I said, there's a lot of cool stuff in tonight's magazine. So, we're going to do half of it tonight. Then you tell me if we're going to do the other half next week. The Washington Report. Automakers mount attack on new regulations. Like I said, a lot of stuff that we're still seeing and dealing with today, a lot of this was starting. The government was starting to push. NHTSA was starting to push. The EPA was starting to push. And Detroit was starting to push back. And what it's led to is what a car costs today now, a basic car being $25,000 or $30,000 versus a basic car in the 70s being $3,000 or $4,000 or maybe $6,000 or $8,000. But that's what happens with all these regulations. Detroit sharpens its attack on Washington rulemakers in recent months as automakers take turns hurling bricks at federal regulations they consider unnecessary, inflationary, and anti-competitive. This tougher stand by the Big Three reflects their growing apprehension that they may be headed down the road to ruin by being forced to invest enormous sums to meet future safety, emissions, and fuel economy standards. The industry estimates it will take an unprecedented $78 billion to meet those standards through 1985. This at a time when the companies see their profits and growth rates shrinking. Well, we all know now they were right. It cost a fortune, and us as the consumer are paying for it. So that was, so interesting to see what they were fighting, what they were up against. The Big Three was really trying to fight, trying to stand up for what was going on. Unfortunately, for the most part, they kind of lost, and now the consumers are paying the price for a lot of this stuff. So I thought that was very interesting because that's what we were seeing. Chrysler and what they have been called the impossible dream flatly demands a 2-year moratorium on all additional emissions and safety standards until an independent review can be made. Chrysler Chairman John Ricardo has repeatedly charged that auto regulations by 1985 will add $1,000 to the price of every every car. Ford and GM said it was going to be around 800. Chrysler said 1,000 with little or no offsetting benefits. He said this will add 0.5% to the consumer price index, and it is clearly inflationary. Well, there again, we're looking back with 2020 hindsight, and they were right. It all cost a fortune. It all got added onto cars. No problem. No doubt about it at all. So that's right. Randy hasn't changed yet. Same thing with Tim. So, yeah, like Tim says, politicians aren't crooked, said nobody ever. So, kind of interesting with that. There again, there's so many bits and pieces about this stuff. As we get into there was a bunch of stuff in the Washington report. But as we get into the Detroit report, obviously when we do a motor trend, we've always got a Detroit report. And there's a lot of cool stuff in the Detroit report as well. The fat car has an inflation edge. And it has a picture of a Mark V Lincoln shown with the fat car has an inflation edge. So what are they talking about? Sure, some people will buy anything on speculation. Some people will always be ahead of the game. And some people this year will buy the biggest and fullest size cars in the world. And in this case, the world means the Lincoln Continental and Mark V. The grapevine would have many speculators eager to buy. So Ford is ready to crank out another 5,000 Continentals into August-December production schedule. The big hit, however, will come from Cadillac because 78 is the last year for the outsized Eldorado and the Barrettes in particular. It'll be a limited model, only about 1,900 built, and the touts are saying the $15,000 sticker could easily triple before it's over. Now we have to determine whether the gold standard should be transferred to the plastic or electrostatically stitched polypropylene carpet. So obviously, we now know that in 79, the Eldorado went smaller platform front-wheel drive. The Lincolns went smaller in 80. So that's what they were talking. We were seeing the end of some of those. They still made full-size rear-wheel drive cars, but some of the bigger ones, we were starting to see the demise of them. That's right. Bill says the mobster type car. The next article, say what? say WATT, W-A-T-T. The Department of Energy recently selected 5 private companies to help show the practical uses and possible markets for electric and hybrid vehicles. Sounds like we're still doing that. Right now, there are plans for 165 units to be distributed to 4 eastern locations and 1 western one, but by 1986, the Department of Energy expects 10,000 of these alternates to be in use. This great experiment will require that the users document all phases of operation as well as the public's acceptance of the vehicles. Criteria for the test are based on vehicle range, battery life, energy consumption, recharge time, speed, warranties, reliability, durability, and of course safety. Fortunately, these evaluations will take place in the very areas that need them the most: New York City, Long Island, New Jersey, Walt Disney World, and Los Angeles. The Booz Allen and Hamilton Inc. management consulting firm in Bethesda, Maryland, will do all coordination for the project. And so there again, the testing, the real-world testing of electric vehicles at that point in going into 1979. Kevin, my dad had a Mark V, very nice car, had a big 460 in it. Yep, that's hot rod Lincoln, says Kenny. So there again, we're starting to see a lot of this stuff. A lot of the stuff we deal today, we see what the safety equipment has done to the price of vehicles. We've seen how much it's inflated them. We've seen all this electric car stuff still going on with it, still fighting with it, still trying to get, there's still no infrastructure really for a lot of it. It's changing, but it's still definitely not there by any means. Number 1, Lincoln always suffered from more is less syndrome and buried the cars in chrome. Yeah. Still in the Detroit report, like I said, I'm skipping some of this stuff, but still in the Detroit report because there's so much great stuff. Diesel dope. In 1978, Cadillac built 2,800 cars equipped with diesel engines. This model year, they plan to up the ante by a mere 33,000 units. In 1979, 19 of 26 Oldsmobile models will have a diesel engine option. Olds plans to build 190,000 clatter motors, is what Motorton called them, and put them in the Tornado and the Cutlass. The Cutlass will also have a 260 cubic inch, 4.3 liter diesel option. So, David W. Technology took a long time to catch up. That's for sure. It definitely did. 86. Well, they missed that because I still don't have it right. Yep. Ford is becoming increasingly aware of the diesel onslaught and already uses Peugeot engines in its European Granada line. They may work a deal to import them for use in the U.S. The Chevette. How about a Chevette? Yep, we've definitely got to talk about the Chevette. We've even got a picture of the Chevette. More for Less sells the Chevette. In the beginning of the 1978 model year, the Chevette sticker price was readjusted to below that of most of its competitors, and the car was fitted with many popular items as standard fare rather than options. At the same time, the 4-door model was introduced. These 2 propositions, plus other incentives, have made it the best-selling subcompact in America. They turn out 1,120 units a day by now, and by February of next year, they'll be building more than 1,800. Literally translated, this means about 285,000 units for 78, and about an 11.1% of the whole subcompact market. But at this time, only one plant is handling the assembly, and it is steaming up a large portion of Wilmington, Delaware. So a full-scale changeover attack will be launched at Lakewood, Georgia by November. So 285,078 Chevettes, and there ain't many of them left, that's for sure. Let's see what else is going on. X-Ray Dean remembers the diesel 88s were cool. David W says they've been making a ton of them, that's for sure. A few other, like I said, we could definitely cover all of these, but there's no way we're gonna have time for it. But there's a few more that I absolutely want to catch. And I'm going to show you the picture here. So what else is new? Some highly visible media advertising has helped make AMC's Concord luxury subcompact into the best-selling car they've had in 10 years. Naturally, the Kenosha Mills will be pumping out even more Concords and teaming them with the Spirit, the Gremlin replacement for this model year. Awesome picture for AMC with the Concord bodies with a big sign of the 100,000 Concord produced by AMC. Back then, they were still fighting it. They were still fighting the good fight in 1978. Still hanging in there with the big 3, still making some things happen. So, build this. That would be the Boxwood Road plant in Delaware. Had a friend that worked there. Rusty Nail said he's still got one. So there again, looking back at this point, it's cool to see the AMC stuff where they're still in there, still fighting the good fight, still trying to make things happen. Something else coming about in that time period, like I said, I'm skipping a lot of stuff. There's just so much of the stuff that was so relevant at that point to what we see today. If it moves, put fuel injection on it in an effort to retain some of the larger cars during the downsizing crunch. Ford and Chrysler are starting to get heavy with electronic fuel metering and injection systems in an effort to control fuel use more precisely. Plymouth is doing it with a Volare, while a Granada has become the mule in Dearborn. Advanced fuel control systems are also certain to be found on Chrysler New Yorkers, Newports, Cordovas, and LeBarons, and on various Dodges. So Sebastian's an AMC fan. What did the Concorde replace? That I'm not sure. So, like I said, we're going to keep moving because there's so much stuff in here. Because we've still got some stuff in the international report. We've got a roving report, and we've got new cars for 79. So, and like I said, we're trying to keep things under 4 hours. We got to start reeling stuff back in, and we're almost to 3 hours at this point, and we've still got a ways to go. So, obviously, if you were on the live yard walk this morning, we found some rabbits out there, and not the furry kind, some Volkswagen rabbits. That relic we know as the Beetle convertible will soon be replaced by an up-to-date ragtop built by Carmen for the Golf Rabbit chassis. Despite the popularity of the old air-cooled Sun Cruiser, VW feels the time has come for it to retire gracefully and make way for a new generation. While the new front-wheel drive chassis will provide superior performance and handling, the Golf and Rabbit convertible platform should retain much of that unique character that has made the older Carmen soft top a lasting success. So the rabbits are coming out, and there was the convertible rendering of it. That's right, Sebastian. The Packard factory is about to be demolished. That's true. Kevin's got to bail off. Glad you were here for a while. Something else in the international report. Now, there's usually not a lot of stuff in the international report that really pertains to me because I don't know nothing about it. But they're again starting to see signs of what we saw come here and happen here. The mini truck craze picks up in Europe. The mini pickup craze appears to be spreading to the high-priced petroleum shores of Europe, where we find the French builder Renault introducing the R4 pickup. This Spartan little workhorse produces only 34 horsepower from its 67 cubic inch engine and tops out at just over 70 miles an hour. At a steady 55 mile an hour, Renault claims it will deliver an honest 27.3 miles a gallon and has a load capacity of better than a half a ton. So this was a really mini truck. Has a picture of it down here at the bottom. But obviously the loves, started coming in the early 70s. And by the 80s, the mini pickups were crazy popular. Even with customizers, they were crazy popular. So would a diesel rabbit be a dabbit? I don't know. That's a good question. But there again, so many things. Just look at what we've already talked about tonight that we saw happen in the industry in the 80s, and to this day, we're still dealing with a lot of it. Still in the internet, believe it or not, we're still in the international report. Diesel making lots of noise at Volkswagen. This is kind of funny for a couple reasons. One, we talked about diesel Volkswagen Rabbits this morning. We just talked about the Rabbit convertible. And then obviously Volkswagen went through the huge government regulation deal for lying about their emissions on their diesels. So let's see what they had to say in 1978. There's a lot of clanking going on at VW these days. The clanking of a diesel engine. The 1471cc 50 horsepower four-cylinder diesel from the Golf and Rabbit has been slipped into the Passat body lengthwise, and VW has introduced two new diesels of 5- and 6-cylinder configurations. The 5-cylinder diesel will be fitted to the Audi 5000 in the very near future if it hasn't already, and the 6-cylinder will see light duty in the VW Light Transporter, a bus-like commercial vehicle sold only in Europe. There's also speculation that the 2.46 will be used in a Volvo sedan. Now, like we've talked about before, we've got the fact the little Rapid pickup I've got was one that we had when I was a kid that we used to drive, and those things got like stupid mile per gallon. Like they literally would get 45, 50 mile per gallon on the highway. You didn't get there fast, and if you had a headwind, you definitely didn't get there fast. But they got crazy mileage, and they're kind of starting to get popular again. So that was kind of interesting to see there again. More signs of the times. This diesel stuff was really starting to come out, and now they got diesels in everything. Now it's pretty common. But that's for Tim agrees with me. But pretty much couldn't beat a VW diesel for mileage in the early '80s. Also in the international report, Camaro. Why are we talking about a Camaro in the international report? Camaro Autobahn. Oh, I better show you a picture of the Volkswagen diesel engine first. Here's the Volkswagen diesel engine that they had for the picture of that little blurb. Camaro Autobahn bargain. The sagging American dollar is bringing about some interesting changes in the European car market. GM is presently marketing a special European version of the Chevrolet Camaro in Germany that includes complete instrumentation, rally wheels, steel belted radials, front and rear stabilizer bars, and halogen lights. The powertrain is comprised of a 305 and an automatic. With the current relationship of the dollar versus the mark, the car can be had for a bargain basement price of only $8,650. So there were some Camaros over there running around in the late 70s as well. Let's see. Number one, Rabbit diesels recommend a rebuild at 1.2 million miles. Tim remembers his mom Jetta getting 52 to 54 miles per gallon. David W. DDIs are popular. Sebastian's got to bail off. Brian, dispatch. The Golf got good mileage. Old School's here. Glad you're here, Old School. On to the roving report. So we've done holy cow, what have we done? The Detroit report, the international report. Now we got the roving report, and there's still cool stuff to talk about. In the roving report, the most interesting thing about the roving report, there's no pictures for this. DeLorean wins Irish sweepstakes. A land famous for Colleen's, Irish tenners, good whiskey, potatoes, leprechauns, some other shillelaghs, more potatoes, and more recently, terrorism, poverty, and high unemployment may soon become the locale for an automobile factory. John Z. DeLorean, his stainless steel sports car, and the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland, Roy Mason, hosted a full-blown press conference in Belfast recently to announce that the British government has given the DeLorean Motor Company a grant of $120 million to construct an assembly plant in that city. So we've talked about that before. That DeLorean was made in Ireland, and that was when they were talking about the plant, and it was announced in shortly before October of '78. So let's see. Old School, I went to a rec show today. So Mustang pace car. Yep. Mustang pace car for 79 Indy. Reports from Detroit indicate that the brand new Mustang will be selected as the official pace car for next spring's Indianapolis 500, which we do know now was true. There will actually be 3 pace cars, each equipped with a removable top section. The engines will be built by drag racing legend, engine wizard Jack Roush of Livonia, Michigan. Prototype pace car design work will be done by the firm Cars and Concepts in Brighton, Michigan, according to the desires of the Ford marketing personnel. The number of production replica cars has not been decided as of yet. So, one more thing out of the roving report. The reason this kind of stood out to me was, let's see, DeLorean might be the only car the union did not want to build. But how can you expect a drunk potato to work a full day? Yeah, that's true. That's right, Russ Nails. That was the first of the Fox body. A couple of pictures of the 2-seater Camaro and Firebird. Veteran auto journalist Michael Lamb discovered in the process of researching an upcoming book on Camaros and Firebirds photos of prototype 2-seater models of both the original Camaro and the Firebird. The wheelbases were shortened from 108 to 96 inches, neither having a back seat. So early were these projects that they were labeled Panther and Banshee instead of Camaro and Firebird. The Camaro project sure looks like a certain rear-engine air-cooled ragtop. And what caught my attention on that was the book we've looked at before, the Camaro book that I got as I was a kid, that Mom and Dad got for me. That was the book they were talking about. So, Jeff, do you have any pace car replicas of any vintage? As far as me personally, the only one I've got is an 82 Z28 Indy pace car. That's the only one that I've got that's an actual pace car replica. So you're starting to see, and like I said, we're still not covering everything. And we're only halfway through the thing. Let's see, where are we at on my notes? All right, that gets us through the reports. The Roving Report, the International Report, the Detroit Report. And we're going to get into the first section of this magazine, and then we're going to do ads. And then, like I said, we may have to push the rest of it off until next week. So we'll see how things go. But we'll look at AMC for sure, and we'll probably look at GM for 79. But I don't see getting into anything beyond that because there's so much. In fact, let me look and see where we're at here, because we've got Mopar in here, and I don't think Ford is in here, but with Mopar plus some other articles. Yeah, we'll probably get through some of this. We'll see. David Suya, 62 Studebaker Lark was the official Indy pace car. Yep. But obviously, this is October of 78. The new 79s are on the block, ready to roll out. Tony was at a swap meet today. 79 AMC. For years, American Motors Corporation was known as the small car specialist among U.S. auto manufacturers. AMC was trying to sell efficient packaging and fuel economy at a time when American drivers wanted barrels of cubic inches and acres of sheet metal. But we've got some cool pictures, and we talk a little bit about all of the 79 model AMCs. So some cool color pictures to start off with. First-gen Camaro pace car promo would be pricey. I do want a 67 Camaro pace car promo because I found one when I was a kid and I couldn't afford it. Of course, at the time it was like $60, but it's just as well been $500 at that point. But I do want a 67 Camaro pace car convertible promo, just because I almost got that one when I was a kid and never got one, never bought another one, never. The few I found, I just never popped on and bought. So, but AMC for 79. Let's see what they've got going on. The Spirit. Reincarnation may not exist for humans, but AMC has proven once again that it certainly is a fact of life for automobiles. The awkward little gremlin has gone the way of the Hornet, which you will recall was laid to rest at the end of 77 model year, only to return in new form as the 78 Concorde. So, here's a couple of shots. They're black and white of the Spirit. The AMC Spirit. 67 was white with blue stripes. 69 was white with orange stripes. 79 AMX. The familiar AMX nameplate has been moved to the Concorde series body for the new Spirit liftback frame for 79. The youth-oriented car features front air dam, rear deck spoiler, fender flares, dual black remote mirrors, and black bumpers. The working end of the package includes a 258 six-cylinder as standard with a 4-speed manual floor-mounted shift. 304 V8 is also available, along with the choice of a 4-speed manual or a 3-speed automatic. The Rally Tune suspension is optional on all other Spirit liftback models included in the AMX package. It features shocks, quick ratio steering, and heavy-duty front disc brakes. Full instrumentation, including tach, amp gauge, oil gauge, manifold vacuum gauge is also included on the new for 79 Concorde-based AMX. AMC did good till the Lacar blunder. There's some truth to that, Randy. The Spirit had zero seat space, says Shopcat. Number one says the all-wheel drive economy cars always looked heavy. Big job. Junkyard Digs has been doing a lot with AMC recovery. What else do they have going? The regular Concorde. AMC successful 78 new car Concorde enters its second year of production. Is essentially the same form with the exception of a new higher trim level as the Concorde Limited. They also had the Pacer. AMC's unique Pacer continues for 79 in hatchback and station wagon body styles with both DL and limited trim. A more powerful standard engine for 79 highlights the Pacer line. The 258 six-cylinder with a two-barrel carb replaces the 232 six-cylinder. The new limited option includes such standard options as leather upholstered reclining front seat, folding center armrest, air conditioning, automatic transmission, power steering, power brakes, AM/FM stereo, radio, tilt steering wheel, power windows, power locks, radial white wall tires, 18-ounce color keyed carpeting, rear windshield wiper and washer, and roof rack for all wagons. There are 15 solid body colors available. So there's the Concorde and the Pacer for $79 for AMC. '79 GM, and we'll see how things go getting into the '79 GM because there is a ton of it. A lot of cool color pictures, a lot of neat stuff to look at here, but so much of it. We'll see how time goes. And like I said, we may have to split some of this up, actually, depending on time. But just like AMC starts off with a full color spread with a lot of great pictures. We'll keep this up there for a few seconds so you guys can actually study it and check it out a little bit. Some stuff on there that probably haven't really thought about in a long time. See the Skyhawk with a rear spoiler? I don't think I've ever seen one of those. I think that was literally a Skyhawk with a rear spoiler. Obviously, the new Eldorados, the new Tornados, the new Rivieras, the new noses on the Firebird and Camaros. A lot of exciting things happening for '79. That's right. It is a Redbird #1. The Redbird, I personally like the Skybird the most. The Yellowbird, the Redbird never did a lot for me. The Skybird, I was a fan of just for the simple fact that I remember Dad fixed one up when I was a kid. Just one that he fixed up and flipped. But I still remember that Skybird. So I've always kind of had a fondness for the light blue Skybirds, more so than the Redbird or the Yellowbird. But there again, like I said, we'll touch on some of this and kind of keep moving. The '79 Chevrolet, Chevette, Monza, Nova, and Camaro. So we'll show you the pictures. We'll touch on a few high points on some of these because, like I said, we could be here till Wednesday night going through the details on this. Jeff's a fan of the that era of F bodies. But what's going on here? The Chevette is now the best-selling compact in the United States, just like we just talked about. Just like they said, price was reduced, more basic equipment added. So looking for big things out of the Chevette in '79. The Monza, most of the improvements for the '79 Monza lie beneath. The base 2.5 four-cylinder has a new cross-flow cylinder head, a Pontiac piece, an aluminum intake manifold, and a new two-barrel carb. If the corporate four-cylinder is too small or not enough for you, you can get two different V6s available in the Monza. The Nova easily qualifies as the old man of the line. Standard equipment, inline six with a 3-speed manual. Seems to take you right back to '63. Fortunately, this Codger will be quietly retired near the end of February with a front-wheel drive X-body platform. It appears let the Nova rest in peace. It has served us well. But while it still kicks, it has been given a new grille and surrounding accoutrements, even though the line continues unaltered with the notchback coupe, the two-door coupe, and the four-door sedan. So, big job at a girlfriend with a Skybird. Yep, I remember those well. Camaro, the big news in the Camaro department is an old Ferrari namesake, the Berlinetta. It's loaded with all of the familiar styling treatments that have helped the Camaro hold on to what it once had. For openers, it has pinstriping, a bright grille, black rocker panels, body-colored wheels, and a special rear lamp arrangement. Power options include a 4.1 liter V6 and both the 5.0 and 5.7 liter V8. If the Berlinetta is too much or not enough, you can go for the Z28 or the Rally Sport Coupe, respectively. The best standard equipment bet here would be the Z car because the base package includes the close ratio 4-speed, 5.7 liter engine, special dual exhaust, and special front and rear suspension pieces. Inside these familiar cars is a redesigned instrument panel that faces more towards the driver than the rest of the occupants, giving the illusion of a recessed interior space and relocating the central air conditioning ducts. If the car is so equipped, it also widens the instrument cluster area. So, kind of like the 80 Berlinetta that I just picked up that I did a video on. If you missed that, go back and check that out. Frank, 79 Nova grill is a rare piece today. I bet so. What else is happening in Chevrolet? Malibu, Corvette, Impala, and Caprice. Just one color picture of each one of them. Shopcat, I haven't seen much with a better turn ratio than my Chevette. The Malibu, obviously the second year of the G-Body platform, which has become extremely popular. Corvette coming off of the 1978 Indy Pace Car year. The 1978 Indy Pace Car was an overwhelming but somewhat embarrassing process for Chevrolet. People tended to buy it on speculation and forget about driving it. The price it commands is still outrageous, but the styling trend it has set is a hard one to discount. The 79 cars will look the same without the lettering and will include the front air dam and rear spoiler as standard equipment. The white alloy wheels will hold 255/60 Aramid fiber belt tires as options and have the same size steel wheels, and 225/70 steel belted radials as standard. The base suspension is hefty enough for most applications, but this year those who prefer can even more control bypass the stiff Gymkhana suspension package and simply opt for the heavier duty shock absorbers, leaving the spring rates alone. That's right, number one. The Malibus are like shoes. Everybody wants them right now. That's for darn sure. Obviously, the Impala and Caprice had been redesigned in 77, so there were a few years into it. The Monte Carlo, as with the rest of Chevrolet, offering the Monte Carlo as a new front and rear styling as well as two new choices of V8 power. The base engine being a 3.3 liter V6. Same thing with the Monte Carlos. They are crazy. '79 Pontiac, Firebird, obviously Firebird, Sunbird, and Le Mans. We'll take a look at what they've got for pictures for these. Pontiac's F-bodied sports coupe, the Firebird, continues to be seen in four forms: the base Firebird, the Esprit, the Formula, and the hugely successful Trans Am. Yeah, going at the end of 78, things were looking pretty good for the Trans Am. May have had something to do with a little movie that came out in 77, but yeah, 78 was off the rails year for Trans Am, and continued so for several more years. The black with gold trim special edition Trans Am will be available at the start of production. Cosmetic changes are visible both front and rear. A major restyling of the soft polyurethane nose panel has produced a stronger, more aggressive appearance. A pair of rectangular openings located horizontally below the headlamps serve as air intakes. The rectangular headlamps are housed individually in the nose. The bumpers, grills, tail lamps, and parking lamps and signal lamps are all new. The Formula and Trans Am have a new black appearing tail lamp panel that glows red when the lamps are activated. The door that provides access to the gas filler is covered with the same material, so there's a uniform appearance all the way across the rear. Also available on the Formula and the Trans Am are the new optional power assisted four-wheel disc brakes. So lots of cool stuff happening there. And of course the Sunbird and the Le Mans basically rolling as well. And then also Pontiac had the Phoenix, they had the Grand Prix, and then of course the full-size Catalina and Bonneville for 79. There's some more pictures of the Pontiac lineup for 79. How about some Oldsmobiles? the 79 Oldsmobile, the Tornado, the Starfire, and the Omega. Yep, I remember the Bandit could drive any forking thing when he threw Snowman off the forklift. And, of course, the Cutlass, and then the seldom seen custom cruiser, the little hatchback-based Cutlass. Who remembers these? That's something that you definitely don't see very often. That's right, Big Job. Jackie Gleason was a big part of that movie. Yeah, I know. I never have imagined if it wasn't Burt Reynolds as the Bandit, and it's kind of hard to imagine. It all works so well. It's kind of hard to even think about, someone else being in that spot. How about the 79 Buick, the Riviera, the Skyhawk, and the Skylark, and even the Buick Opal? Some cool pictures of some of those that you don't see very often. And we'll talk a little bit about one of them, the Roadhawk, just like we saw earlier with the rear fin or the rear spoiler on the Skyhawk, the Buick Skyhawk Roadhawk. Obviously, the new front-wheel drive Riviera is coming out for $79. Diablo sandwich and a Dr. Pepper, and I'm in a hurry. That's right, number one. That is exactly right. The next step up on the Skyhawk is the Roadhawk, a light silver on dark silver limited edition using a wraparound front spoiler and a rear wing spoiler integrated into the rear fenders. Special suspension with large diameter front and rear stabilizer bars, steel belted radials, quick ratio power steering, and special interior trim and steering wheel. So that's pretty cool. Something you're definitely. That's right, Jason. When we get home, I'm going to punch your mama in the mouth. That is exactly right. Ozark Fox, a friend had a Chevette. We called it the Shove It. Yeah, he probably had to. That was the worst 442 ever, was that hatchback. Yeah, those were, but they're kind of cool now. You never see them. So I have not seen the John Snyder movie that kind of combines Smokey and the Bandit with the Dukes of Hazzard. I have not seen that. That's right, Big Job. A lot of real actors not trying to be politically correct at that point. Also with Buick, the 79 Century, Regal, and LeSabre. Now, one thing about this last page, all three of these, the Century, the Regal, and the LeSabre, were available with a turbo in 79. Shopcat called them the buttless Cutlass, so I could see where that came from. But the Turbo Century, the Turbo Regal, and the LeSabre, all three Buicks available with turbochargers in 79. There again, there's the hatchback design with a turbo. I don't know how many of those they made, but they were not very many. I found one in a salvage yard years and years ago. Unfortunately, it was already in the stack to be crushed. I couldn't get it out. But I've actually got the deck lid and a rear spoiler for one of those, which has got to be a hard-to-find piece. These were not called T-types at that point. They were just called turbo coupes still in 78, 79. And then finally, the Buick Electra 479. And let's go ahead and catch Cadillac, and then let's get in some ads. Obviously, for 79, the big news was the front-wheel drive luxury cars, the Tornado, the Riviera, and the Eldorado as they switched to the front-wheel drive platform. And actually, that's all the pictures they had for Cadillac. They talked about the DeVille, the 79 DeVille, available in a two-door coupe and a four-door sedan. Little change from the 78 models, which was very little change from the 77 models. That's right, Rusty Nails. They still had bumpers back then. As well as the Seville, greater luxury, custom trim, and new interior and exterior colors highlighted the 1979 Seville Little change in styling. This popular smaller caddy has retuned suspension for better handling and a smoother ride, and is powered by a 350 electronic fuel-injected V8. Seville's for California will be equipped with the closed-loop emissions control system and Phase 2 catalyst that monitors the air-fuel mixture and simultaneously controls hydrocarbons, carbon dioxide, and nitrous oxide. The 350 diesel engine featuring a new fast start glow plug is optional in your new Seville. The Fleetwood Brougham. Cadillac's Fleetwood model line covers the big limousine class of passenger cars based on a 121.5-inch wheelbase shared by the DeVille. Standard four-door sedan has only minor styling changes for $79, but the big Fleetwood Broughams were still going. Jason, my mom had an 84 Riv. Yeah, those were pretty cool cars. Shopcat's dad had an 82 LeSabre coupe, put it in the ditch once. But with that, let's go back and catch some ads because there's still a lot of cool stuff in this magazine. We're already 3 hours and 20 minutes into tonight. Let's catch the ads, and then we'll get into some new inventory and some new videos and some trivia and all that type of stuff. So let's keep moving because we got a lot of stuff to cover, but there are some great ads. That's the problem with this magazine. So much cool stuff. I think you guys can see why this magazine kind of sucked me in, because there was so much stuff that we see today, that we deal with today, that was starting back then. But obviously, we know in 1979 that Ford was coming out with the new Fox body. So inside the front cover, they are introducing the new breed of Ford Mustang 479 with a big 2-page full-color ad of the Fox body, including a prancing stallion under the moon. Big Job says, so far, the magazine's pretty cool. Number one, did Buick or Olds get the Malibu coupe roof after the cambacks, or just rely on the Monty bodies for coupes? Pontiac had the Grand Am, but they don't think they ever actually had the Malibu body that I can think of. And we flip the page again. Ford spent some money because the next 2 pages are Mustang as well. What's cool about it is we are starting to see a lot of color. We flip the next page and we see a kind of a cool car, actually. The 88 Olds 88 Holiday Coupe. Holiday options include a T-bar shifter, sport mirrors, console, bucket, sport wheel, and color matched wheel disc. Yes, the sporty 1988 Oldsmobile Coupe. Sad part about the Mustang for Big Job, reminds me of the Gas Crunch. Yeah, Fox bodies, the Charles Bronson Bandit cars. Yeah, it could have been. Here's another ad for Signs of the Time. Think of it as your head view mirror. Yes, it untraps radar. The Fuzzbuster, literally called the Fuzzbuster. This was the original Fuzzbuster from the Fuzzbuster Industries. Anthony's getting a little thirsty. Sorry about that, guys. Apologize. Another great full-color ad. The Jeep pickup. The test results are in. Jeep pickup proof superior. Jeep proof superior to Ford, Chevy, and Dodge in a test of automatic 4-wheel drive systems. Pete had a Fuzzbuster. Frank had one. Big Job had one. So those are pretty common back in the day, apparently. Need to keep sliding a few of these in for you guys. You're going to get thirsty. Your new GM car and Delco GM sound systems are made for each other. Yep, you check this out. The optional radios you could order. David W., my parents bought a 79 Mercury Capri and mom said she hated it. They took it back the next day and got a Zephyr. Norma still has a Fuzzbuster. Frank, busted fuzz as well as one could expect. Yeah. Jason said he was getting dehydrated on us. But the new factory Delco stereo systems for 1979. Shopcat, speaking of famous brand names, I learned yesterday that Taking a Crap came from the Crapper brand of flush brand toilets developed by Thomas Crapper. Yeah, I've heard that before. Yep, that's true. That's right, Randy. It was a G Poncho pickup. Next ad, super cool, about the sporty All new 1979 Oldsmobile Starfires come with standard sporty features you pay extra for in many cars. Bucket seats, AM radio, sport mirrors, console and 4-speed shifter, sport wheels, sport steering wheel, hatchback, rear window stabilizer bar on the new line of 1979 Oldsmobile Starfires. A great ad, full color, different models of the Starfire. Definitely something different that you don't see very often anymore. These cars did not get saved. They did not survive. Don't see a lot of them anymore, but it's still cool to look back and check them out in their glory days. And you never know. One of these days you may run into one at a car show again. That's right, Jason. The more you know, that's for sure. Another 2-page full-color ad. There again, this was the new car announcements. These guys were taking advantage of it. Designed by enthusiasts for enthusiasts, the 1979 Pontiac Grand Am. This was the more Malibu-based type car, even though it was a G-body platform for Pontiac. But they did make these in a 2-door coupe, kind of similar to the Malibu. It is a little bit different, but it's different but the same kind of type thing. But obviously sporty with gauges, sport steering wheel, buckets, console, floor shift. Freddie Bates is in with us, currently working on a 29 Dodge Brothers. That's cool. I don't know if you haven't commented with us before. I don't think Freddie was, but we're glad you're here and glad you're hanging out with us. Hope you enjoy it. Shop Cat, there was a 78 Malibu in unbelievable condition. Had a lean on last year. Wouldn't say how much sold for less than $1,000 today. Ozark Fox, cops knew you had a fuzzbuster at night because the cab would light up. That would kind of defeat the purpose. So, what else do we have for ads? Gobble, gobble. There we go. There she is, the infamous or the famous, however you want to look at it, Wild Turkey ad for the October 78 issue of Motor Trend. What's it say about it this month? Wild turkey lore. The wild turkey's beautiful plumage was highly prized by early American Indians. The feathers were used to make arrows, blankets, and the elaborate headdresses worn by great chiefs. A truly native bird, the wild turkey is a most fitting symbol for the finest Native American whiskey, Wild Turkey. Jason says his turkey's at home, so. JG, best thing to do is call me, JG. You can use the email on PayPal. I check it every couple days usually, but unless there's something that catches my eye, a lot of that stuff gets deleted. So there's an email address in there, or you can just call me with the number because I think I've still got a trivia prize for you. So there it is, the Wild Turkey ad. As always, it's always fun to catch. This was such an iconic ad. There for 2 or 3 years in the late 70s, every freaking magazine printed had this ad in it. So it's such an iconic piece. It's always cool to take a look at it. Kind of become a game on here. Where's the turkey going to be at this time? So there she is right there on page 14. The beautiful prized wild turkey. Who remembers this? Sheer pleasure from Plymouth, the new Plymouth Sapporo. Who remembers the Plymouth Sapporo, a little compact coupe? I remember them. Don't know much about them, but I remember them. Wild turkey ad should be like food stamps for car parts. Shopcat, I have a 79 turf track lawn tractor I named Wild Turkey. Wild Turfy. But the Plymouth Sapporos, I believe they were Mitsubishis. That were imported, but something you don't ever see anymore at all. Yeah, its cousin was the Dodge Charger. I think that was the Challenger. I think they called those the Challenger, actually. Yeah, that's what Shopcast said. It was the Challenger. Yeah, that's what I thought. They called them the Challenger. Bill, this got to jump off. Glad you were here. Freddie says he's been here before, just must not have commented much. Well, glad you're hanging out with us. Sapporo direct competition with the Mustang. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they were going with that because it almost seems like it was supposed to be a little smaller, more fuel economy. But the next page, next ad, we're going to look at another 2-page full color ad on drive systems. Yes, like we've been talking about a lot in this magazine for 1979. The new front drive platform for the Riviera, Eldorado, and Tornado came out. General Motors has built more than 850,000 personal luxury cars with front-wheel drive. The earlier Eldorados and Tornados. Now GM teams it up with four-wheel independent suspension and electronic leveling control and three of the most individualistic new cars we've ever built. The 79 Cadillac Eldorado, the Buick Riviera, and the Tornado has a breakaway or a cutaway design, so to speak, of the front drive system, really touting the features of their new ride system and their new front-wheel drive setup. Sapporo was a Celica fighter. Yep, that I could see that, number one. I think that's more along the lines of exactly what it was for. Another ad that we've seen a few of these before, a very docile ad, a very dignified ad, but it's also for a luxury car. That's right, Shopcat. I think it was a Mitsubishi. On Jaguar. Rolling hills, quiet, serene, very prim and proper ad for the 1979 Jaguar. How about Monroe Shocks? Typically a Monroe Shocks ad wouldn't be that exciting, would it? Well, this is pretty exciting. Monroe handlers turn this into a streetcar to be desired. And here's a very desirable offer. So it's got the Monroe handler, looks like built, I think this is it's a Mustang 2 Cobra, the Monroe handler. Anybody remember that? Anybody remember these ads? Shopcat drove with a V12 Jag once with no hood. And here's a very desirable offer. That Mercury hood ornament keeps popping me in the eye with the shine off of it. Here's a very desirable offer. Build your own 1/25th scale model of the Monroe Handler Mustang with a Revell kit, plus a set of racing decals. Send $3 for your Monroe Handler Mustang 2 kit. $3 for a model kit of the Mustang Handler. Monroe Handler Mustang. Brian Dispatch trying to stay awake. Yeah, that's why I only did half the magazine tonight, guys. We're this late and I only did half of it. That's right, Tim said we're going to send the $3 I'm in. Couple of ads here. One with the kind of odd because it's got the buttless cutlass, as it was just called, in race form for a Pennzoil ad, and a color ad for the Chevy Love, the long and short of it, the two different bed lengths of the Chevy Love. So here's the, one of those hatchback cutlasses and a Pennzoil racing ad, as well as the color ad for the Chevy Love showing off the different bed lengths for the Chevy Love. Big Jeff says, may have to put that hood over on his Pete. I know I shouldn't have sat it where I sat it. I need to put something here over the edge to kind of keep the blinding down. A few more ads to check out, and then we're going to keep moving. Everybody loves the Love ad. Driver's seat. Yes, a full-page color ad for seats. But by the 80s, these were very common, or they were common in performance cars. They numbered the race car 0. Pennzoil knew it was an awful design as well. That could be true, number one. A full-page color ad for Recaro seats. Obviously, in the 80s, Recaros became very popular in any sort of performance car. Everybody wanted a Recaro seat. And a full-page color ad just for Recaro seats. And the last ad we're going to catch tonight is going to take quite a while, actually, because it's a multi-page ad. But it is an ad from people who know what performance is all about, with a super cool shot of the IROC Racing Series Chevrolet. All the Camaros in a line in the IROC Racing Series. That's right, Pete. Those seats were the bomb in their day. That's for sure. Auburn badge. Love equals Isuzu. Yep. And like I said, this is a multi-page Chevrolet ad, so we're going to show it to you, and then we're going to keep moving. The Z28, the Ultimate Camaro. The Camaro Berlinetta. Yeah, Pete's getting excited. Coming up here soon to get his. The Monza Spider and the Corvette. Like I said, Chevrolet went all out with this ad. Yes, Kenny, you did win a shirt last week. I need to know your size so I can get it in what size you want so I can get it in the your shipments. So extra large black, okay? I'm going to write that down right now. Perfect. Thanks, Kenny. That was one thing I needed to ask you, so I'm glad you brought that up. That was on the notes to ask you. Those cars sold so many spoilers, nobody gets to see the beautiful tail ends on the Monza and second-gen Camaros. And finally, the last page of the Chevrolet ad, and it is great. The 1979 El Camino Royal Knight. I always thought these were cool cars as well. And you can send for your copy of the Chevrolet Power Book as well, if you wanted to order that. How much was it, by the way? $5.95. Please ship me however many copies of Chevrolet Power at $5.95 each, plus 70 cents handling for $6.65 per book. Chevrolet Power and mail to Warren, Michigan. But the offer expires April 30th of 1979, so I think we're all out. So, but anyway, there is half of the October 1978 issue of Motor Trend. Shop Cat, what was the Caballero equivalent called? The Caballero was the GMC version of the El Camino. So that's right, number one. I see your fire chicken and raise you 2 dragons in a night. That's a good way to put it. So let's see. Talking about had a few more questions about that. Let me get that picture back up there for a few more seconds so you guys can check it out and get a little better look at the Royal Knight. Yep, too bad it's expired. So anyway, Kenny wasn't ready. So anyway, there we go. That's what we've got for the October 78 issue of Motor Trend. You guys want the rest of this one next week? Do you want to not do the rest of it? Do you want to push it off, do something else this week and finish this up later? You guys tell me. It's your show. I will do whatever you think. So you guys let me know what you want to do. If we just finish this one up, I don't think it'll take quite as long next week, but there's still a lot of cool stuff in it. Tony, long day at the swap meet, keep falling asleep. So that's fine. I understand we're getting to wrap. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm trying to reel it in because we are going that long. Anthony says rest next. Norma says rest. Okay. All right. We'll do it. We'll do the rest of it next week. So read half the magazine. What am I, the dentist? All right, we'll do the rest of it next week. That's what everybody wants to do. Perfect. That's what we'll do next week. We'll finish it up. So the custom car pocket size magazines be for sale. You did one a few weeks ago. I've got some of them I might sell. I'd have to go through them and see. I've got some of them that I might sell, JG. So anyway, there we go. We'll catch the rest of that next week. Let's keep moving. Let's get on to some trivia and the raffle and new inventory so we can kind of get this thing wrapped up. Bill Pritchard need a number pin ready in Tennessee. Now, I'm not sure where you're at with that, Bill. Just give me a call if you got more questions. Trivia. We didn't have a winner last week for the Chevrolet badge. We'll see if we get one this week because it's a Chevrolet question. As always, I'm going to read the question. I'm going to put it on a 90-second timer. We'll see if anybody gets it. John, I got a buddy making a deer blind out of a 49 Chevy truck cab. Trivia for this week. Like I said, I will read the question, then I will hit the timer. We've got 90 seconds. We'll see. Somebody might get this one. They may have remembered that for the Chevrolet badge. Brian Dispatch is waiting for the ads, and they were great ads for sure. But in the 1954 Chevy 3100 that I picked up, that we posted a video on the other day on the blue one, what was the last year on the tag on that truck? What was the last noted year on the license plate of that truck? My phone number is in the, it's actually, number one got it. It was 1980. Boom, right on it. Number one. We'll put that one in your pile, number one. I'm going to have to get a box ready to get to you. Number one is bang on it. My phone number is 620-786-4428, and that is actually in the description part of this video and most of my videos as well. And he's got the tag number even. That's right, Jason. He warned everybody. He did warn them. Boom, done. Number one is in. So, Big Job says, I don't even remember my address, let alone the tag number for the trivia question. So, we'll add that to number one's pile. And we will keep on moving with tonight's show and try to get things wrapped up. This month's raffle. There she is, the Autolite battery cable sign. Beautiful piece. I really questioned it after I got it cleaned up. When I bought it, it was a little bit crusty. And it wasn't... I was going to grow until next August. It had been in a shop, and it had some soot on it. And it just didn't pop. So I was kind of like, well, but it still looked good. So I thought, well, I'll clean it up a little bit. We'll get it ready for the raffle. I took a little rubbing compound to it, polished it out a little bit, put some wax on it. I'm like, holy crap. That thing is freaking nice. And I really, really debated that, even throwing it in. But it was already in here. I actually, at 6:48 last week before the raffle, I texted my daughter, like, should we keep this? And she's like, it's cool, but it's not. She goes, it's not speaking to her. So she's like, and she goes, they will love it. Let's just go ahead and raffle it. So her vote pushed it over the edge. A couple of bent hooks a little bit, nothing serious, but all the hooks are there. It is all original finish, original paint. Definitely got a shine. Big Job says, let's auction it while I still got money. I should have auctioned it last week the way you guys went nuts over it, but I already announced it as a raffle, and I didn't want to go back on what the guys wanting it for a raffle. So, yeah, it is. But in fact, I am, but second guessing it a little bit. But I already done told you guys that's what we're going to do. So that's what we'll do. Who is in at this point? Let's see. Jay says, not so fast, number one. How heavy is a battery cable and how many did it hold? It must be heavy. It's actually not that heavy, so. But as of right now, who is in? I know Brandon just told me this morning that he sent extra money, but he didn't note it, so I'll get him in, but he's not in at this point. Here's what I've got now from the first week. Jason Withrow, Charles Fitz, Kenny Peterson, Pete Winters, Alec Blanchett, Zach Thompson, and Ron Walensky. Big Job. Those guys are in. Brandon, I've got yours, but like I said, we talked about it on the live this morning. You sent extra, didn't note it, but I will get you in, as well as anybody else that jumps in this week on the raffle. We're going to give it away October 2nd, so please remember, get in on this one early. October 2nd, same weekend as the auction, so that obviously weekend is torpedoed for me. The episode I will probably throw together at 4 o'clock on Sunday. In fact, we may not even have a full episode that night. Brian says put him down for 25. Get that on your list. So that October 2nd-ish episode, we'll probably, honestly, we probably won't have a magazine. Since I typically have stuff in the auction boxes, we'll talk about the auction, obviously. Hope to see some of you at the auction. And if some of you want to stay over for Sunday, join us on Sunday night. If some of you decide to come to the auction, want to stick around Sunday and go home Monday morning, stick around and we'll have you live in the office with us Sunday night. That's right, Bill Pritchard, would be great to hold keys. Pete says he'll pick it up when he gets there for the auction. We're going to give it away after the auction, though. But so that night is probably going to be talking about the auction, maybe do a couple of emblems. Whatever's in the auction boxes, we'll just sell some stuff out of there because there's always extra stuff in there. Probably won't do a magazine. But we will do the raffle giveaway because we are going to draw for it that night, and I will have the next piece ready for the raffle. And you're right, Big Job. It is going to be an extremely busy weekend for me. So get in before, September 27th, 28th. After that, it's going to be a crapshoot if I can get you in because by Thursday, things are really gearing up. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we set up our stuff. We set up our podium. We get the stuff, the cars that we've already got here. We get them moved out. But by Thursday, things are getting pretty busy. So please get in on this one early. A lot of you guys are jumping in right out of the gate. Obviously, we've got a lot of names on there. But please keep that in mind. That is going to be a bonkers weekend. Just make a deadline. That's basically what I'm doing. If you pay after that, you got a 50-50 shot of getting in if you pay after like the 27th or 28th. So I will try to get you in, but I won't guarantee it, is all I can tell you. So that's where we're at on the Autolite sign. October 2nd, we will give that away. New inventory this week. Obviously, some great stuff coming in for the auction, but I didn't haul much. I picked up the remains of the 62 Impala 4-door hardtop. So we've got a short video I put together today. I did not unload the 2-door. There's so much stuff in it I need to sort through. I wanted to get the video done. So I did pick up the carcass of the 62 Impala 4-door hardtop. Is the only thing interesting I picked up. I hauled a few later model ones this week, but that was the only thing of interest. So number one, have a box headed to Kansas, but I keep adding to it and finding more things. So we're getting new money with the King, so you've got some coins coming. Yeah, that sounds kind of cool. Tim, can we send money? Just send cash for the Autolite auction? Absolutely. The mailing address is in the description for this video as well. 522 Morton. Click on the video after we get done. Look for the text part. Mailing address is in there. So, yeah, absolutely. Check money order. Some guys throw $20 in an envelope and send it to me and put a note in there that says here for the raffle. Just let me know what it's for. So, because some guys will send money for a T-shirt and money for the raffle. Some guys will send money for an auction piece and a T-shirt in the raffle. Some guys will just send money for a raffle. Some guys will send money for an auction piece and a raffle. So let me know what it's for so I know where to put your money and make sure I keep it square on my end. Let's see. So please keep that in mind. So anyway, I got the 62 4-door carcass picked up. Got the video shot on those today. It's easy to separate on PayPal. Yeah, just put a note on there so I know what it is. That's all I need. Some videos that are coming up. 62 Chevys, obviously. The 50 Pontiac that Steve brought out. 68 Delmont. Still got the Snowfighter video. I've got those 91 Cadillacs I need to do. Got to finish up the new yard. I got another half dozen videos to do in the new yard. I got to get those finished up. So I'm starting to move a few things around. So Kenny says, great show. PayPal for the winnings. Is it going to jump out perfect? Pete, didn't even think about Canada changing money. I hadn't either. Number one, 62 Impala 2-door parts were in a Wichita Coca-Cola case, Valvoline, Heineken, and Folgers packages. Watch the videos. Oh, we've already got all that stuff out of there. So that stuff was all loaded up before I even posted the video, actually. So anyway, that's what's coming up on content. I guess we managed to keep it under 4 hours. At this point, we're not done yet, but barely. Anyway, and that's only doing half the magazine. I'm going to get ready to wrap this thing up. I need to get done. I need to get wrapped up. I appreciate you guys still hanging out, still being here, still making what it was. Big job. What was your total? 345. I'll get it figured up here after we get done, and let you know and double check that. But like I said, I'll keep an eye on questions for a few more seconds here. Keep an eye on that F&E website, feclassiccarauction.com. Some awesome stuff coming up going up on that. Tim's got to jump off. We're all going to get ready to wrap this thing up. Thanks for being here tonight, everybody. I appreciate the support on the auctions. Tuesday night, I definitely plan on being on Tuesday night as long as everything doesn't hit the fan again and I run behind and don't have time to get it ready. But do plan on being live on Tuesday night. These other videos coming up the rest of this week. And hope to see you again next Sunday. Same bat time, same bat station, Sunday night live chat. More Sunday night shenanigans with the nobodies. We'll have some more auction pieces and have a great time. Number one says, good luck on trivia, everybody. Yeah. Brian made it all the way through. Well, you got to get some rest, buddy. You got to get to feeling better. So anyway, appreciate it. I appreciate all the support. Everybody saying it's a great show. That's not me. That's you guys' interaction making this what it is. I super appreciate it. And I appreciate everything you do for me and the involvement and the participation making this show what it is. Thanks for watching, everybody. Jason's picking up the gauntlet number one, so this might be interesting. Maybe trivia will get livened back up a little bit if we get a few more people playing with number one. But Shopcat says, good night, everyone. Come see the weirdo that fished with me and the weirdo that came to the tractor show with me. So check out Shopcat's video, see what the weirdo he's got going on. We're going to give you a couple of more badges for the night as we get ready to wrap up. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for making this what it is. Thanks for all your support and making this what it is. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to get a few more things done, and I'm going to get some sleep too. I got a lot of stuff going on this week. Thanks for being here. Stay tuned. We'll see you Tuesday night. Have a great week, everybody, and we will see you, the long-haired hippie preppy cowboy on the shop. I don't know what the long-haired hippie preppy cowboy is, but might want to check out Shopcat's channel, see what the long-haired hippie preppy cowboy is. So, thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Have a great week, everyone.